And go blue, everyone. We're here for Michigan Call-In Show Live. Don't adjust your dials. I'm not TJ. My name's John Diadamo. You may know me as the Tuesday night host of Michigan Wolverines Live, as well as the host of Michigan Postgame Live. Before we get started, I do want to encourage everyone to hit that like button on your way in. We are coming to you from YouTube, X, Twitch, all of the above. We sound good on radio too. Check us out on audio with our various podcasts. Something that I want to start with. So Michigander has asked for this. He's one of our mods and YouTube members, and I think it's a fair question. We've had a couple of things happen in our society the last few days. So why don't we do that? Let's hit a moment of silence as people start to come in for Charlie Kirk, the 9/11 victims, and all of the things that have been going on in our world the last few days. We'll do that. All right. So with that said, we have football to cover today, and prayers for the families. Thank you so much. And let's also have a moment of silence for Jack Sawyer and his lack of gold pants. That's what I'm talking about. Folks, this is my first time using this mic with my new setup. Last time I tried and it was shaky at best, and I had to switch off a bit. Let me know if I sound good today, because we are rocking and rolling here. Love that, goat. So as always with our call-in shows, you are, of course, welcome to call in. Thank you, Blue, for that. Blue was here for my members-only mic test show. So was Doreen. So we appreciate everybody who stopped by for the John Tess's mic show, because sometimes we do stuff like that just for funsies. Okay. So a couple of things here. First of all, $100 gets you a second hour of the show. So if you would like a second hour of the show and you want people to call in and keep this thing going till at least 11 Eastern, go ahead and hit that super chat, that super sticker. We'll post your super chat right on screen. It'll be covered right away as soon as we can get to it. Before we take our first call, some questions. TJ's just not feeling great tonight, guys. He's just not feeling great. So I'm stepping in so that we continue our call-in show. We already do have a caller. So Beats and Treats. TJ tweeted a few hours ago. He wasn't feeling well. I hit him up. I made sure he was okay. And then I was like, hey, I'm going to go live. He was like, go for it. So, here we are. Yep. So TJ's good. And I'm sure we'll be ready to rock for Saturday. So before we take callers, a quick note from the Win Agency. So Win Agency is our sponsor for the entire season. We want to thank them for what they do, for all that they do. At Win Agency, we try to make things as simple as possible. We now have 2 self-service options available on our website. Check out the links in the chat to run your own health insurance and life insurance quotes. This service is available 24/7, 365. 2026 plan prices will be available in November. So there you go. Definitely consider the Win Agency here. And then, wow, we already have, folks, we already have our second. We are going 2 hours guaranteed because Quinn has just dropped the 100 burger. That's right, folks. Quinn Go Blue with the 100 burger. We're going 2 hours. And if y'all want a third hour, then we'll pop that on. But second hour is guaranteed now, thanks to Quinn. And of course, thanks to the Win Agency for making this happen. Thank you, everyone, for showing compassion. Go Blue. Yeah, it's been a rough couple of days, and I think we all need this. So I think we all need to turn it off a little bit and talk football. I think that's what I need. I hope you guys feel the same. Let's make that happen. All right, folks. The call-in link is here. And we actually do have a caller, and I'm going to take him. And it's Caden, the diesel freak. All right, folks. So here we go. Caden, the diesel freak. How you doing?
John D'Animo, how are you this evening, good sir?
I'm good. I'm just trying to get my mind off things. So the fiance and I have been watching. We've been doing like a Harry Potter marathon, and we're just trying to take our mind off because it's been a
rough couple of days. Yeah,
couple of days, right?
Listen, I've been keeping up to speed, John. I'm not that old, so just so you know. I've been keeping up with you boys. I've been listening to you boys. I'll give you boys credit.
Thank you.
And to you and the fiance, enjoy the Harry Potter specials. I know you guys are a big fan of them. I know you mentioned a few times on this show, so kudos to you guys. College football wise, you want to talk college football? I know this is a Michigan show, and I'm the only Ohio State fan besides Garrison who's called on here and actually had the guts to do it. So I'm not going to take any credit for it, but
hey, give some love to Sean Garner and Rob too.
Always. I mean, I've basically messaged those guys and just said, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah, Sean Garner and Rob. We have it's a nice little Buckeye contingent that comes on from time to time.
But I can't show my ugly mug because my computer camera unfortunately does not want to work with me this week, and it's been awful. So I apologize. I can't show my ugly mug, but I'm gonna get the facial hair shaved off. So don't worry, the facial hair is gonna get going. But you know what? As far as college football goes, I really kind of said my thoughts and opinions. Like, I like college football, but I just wish I could just see, Ohio State's defense just light up somebody over the middle and just not have the refs just, penalize us for hitting somebody over the middle when they basically just said, you know what? You're playing hard-nosed defense. I'm not going to make an excuse for it. All right? So I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's tough to evaluate Ohio State right now because the opponents, it's really interesting. Like the 2 opponents have been so diametrically opposed, right? Texas was considered the number 1 favorite before the season. And then you go and play Grambling State. And those are 2 of the most diametrically opposed football programs on the planet. So it's kind of hard for me to like get a real sense. I mean, Michigan's played New Mexico and Oklahoma. So like for me, I want to see what happens against Nebraska because Nebraska is an opponent that's still good, but it isn't Oklahoma good. And we can at least kind of see where we're at. I mean, what do you think about kind of the opponents you faced and how much you can really read into Ohio State?
Firstly, as a Buckeye fan, we should have beat Texas by more. I'm only saying that because our defense has been good. And you know what? We should have had, but I get Coach Day wants to play conservative. He wants to try something new instead of just having our defense, blitz and then, absolutely light up Arch Manning in their offense. Okay, I get it. But you know what? That's just my 2 cents. And I'm not going to lie. Last year, I emailed Coach Day and the staff of the defensive recruiting team, and I said, y'all need to light up y'all's opponents. Don't be afraid to light them up and let them know you ain't screwing around. You're going to get hit. You're going to get hurt. And you ask for it. That's what happens when you come and play Ohio State. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to maybe surprise some people. I think Ohio State, as much as we talk shit about Ohio State on this program and on other programs,
I've heard you talk your stuff, John the Animal.
One thing I will admit, now seeing Ohio State this season, is that, they are able to reload after a natty and still beat very high quality opponents. Michigan is a year and change out from their natty. Had a 7-5 regular season, and I was really high on Michigan coming in. And I got to say, after the Oklahoma performance, I need to see everybody bounce back, and that's the theme of this episode: is how is Michigan going to bounce back with a cupcake Central Michigan. Of course, all respect to the Chippewas. We had Adam Jacksa on the show Tuesday night, and he was a really great guest. Love his passion. He's been making the rounds. But even he admitted Michigan's probably going to win that game by multiple touchdowns. So it'll be kind of a get right game and see where things stand.
Yeah, but here's my thing. Like, I look at your guys' schedule. I told Jackson Johnson, and it was Jeffrey. I said to Jeffrey and Will and D that y'all are gonna go 8-4 this year. Honestly, and I'm not gonna lie. I told Matthew Miller he was losing to OSU and then Georgia twice and then they were gonna lose to Georgia in the SEC title game. I told them that they were gonna go 9-3 with Texas. So I'm not gonna lie. Do I think we could go undefeated? Oh, heck yeah. Ohio State could go undefeated and, just blow the absolute brakes out of our schedule and then beat, y'all's Wolverines. Do I think that? Hell yeah. Is it not impossible? No. We could do it.
Yeah.
And I see Matthew Miller in here talking.
I know Matt goes hard. He's our, as you know, he's our host.
He's our resident Texas fan. Yeah, I know. I had to give him a few words of my own mind. Matthew, if you want to talk, get up in here. Otherwise, I don't want to hear you talking.
Well, he doesn't shy away from calling in, so I'm sure he might be making an appearance later.
I'm sorry, I know this is a college show, but I am demanding Matthew Miller to bring his 5'7" carcass in this room right now. Hey, if you got something to say to me, son, get in here right now.
All right. Yeah, I mean, look, for all those 5'7" out there, hey, short kings are people too. And
yeah, I get that, John, but over here, Matthew Miller's talking all this crap, and I'm like, I'm gonna call him out.
So there you go.
I'm 6'1" as well.
Well, Matt's in the car. Well, call in later. We're going at least 2 hours, guaranteed. So,
well, yeah,
everybody's been coming in clutch today.
Well, John, I'm the 6'1", 192-pound guy who drives heavy-duty equipment for a living. who bleeds International Harvester Red, and I can't show my hat, but it says Case IH, but it's International Harvester.
I believe you.
And truth be told, I bleed International Harvester Red. You cut me open by the arm, it comes out International Harvester Red. Hell, my walls are basically painted International Harvester Red.
Well, that's a lot of International Harvester Red, but
is that a problem?
Not well. There's no red or green allowed in this facility, except for my hair. I can't do anything about that.
you could dye your hair navy.
Can you imagine?
Maybe the fiance.
Actually, someone challenged me to do that. Well, maybe
paint your hair Michigan navy blue.
Maybe another maybe if we get it, we beat Ohio State for the 5th year in a row.
No, do it when you lose. Do it when you lose. How about you do it when you lose? And I guarantee you, your fiance is gonna say it looks better on you. I guarantee you.
I don't know about that.
Oh,
I think she likes my red hair very much.
Oh, come on, John.
Oh, she likes it.
Listen, I may not have a fiance, probably never will. I never know. But with my schedule and with what I do and how much hell I race, how much Mountain Dew I drink, how much diesel fuel I pretty much drink down. Yeah, I'm kind of the ones that yeah. I'm just gonna say I'm the class that women ain't just ready to handle.
All right. Well, with that said, you got any? We have another caller. You got any final thoughts for us?
Well, John, I want to know who's the next guy. I'm curious.
Who's the next guy?
I want to know.
Who's the next guy?
Who's the next caller?
Oh, Cam.
Cam. Is it really Cam? My God, I like that guy. I like his call. But here's my final thoughts. OSU goes 12-0. We stomp and storm and roll this schedule like nothing else. And you know what? I told Garrison this. I emailed Coach Day. I emailed the defensive coaches. And I said, we need to play Ray Lewis Ravens style defense.
Okay.
Please. And I said, I pray to God that you please just light everyone up this season and say we are not playing around. We're bringing pain, and we don't care who you are or where you are. It's all 24/7, 365, and that's all I got to say about that. If anyone has a problem with that, they can say it to my face. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it with you, punks. But that's the bottom line.
All right,
the diesel freak said so.
All right. Well, there you go. That's the word from Caden. Have a great night, man.
Oh, and John, in the words of Craig Morgan, I'm a God-fearing, hard-working, combine driving, hogging up the road of my power, looking 5 miles an hour on my International Harvester, and it's tattooed right in my blood, buddy.
Okay.
Check the facts.
Great.
Check the spec feed.
Okay. I don't need to. I believe you.
Michigan punks, they never learn, do they? They never learn.
All right. Have a good night, Caden. All right. Coming up next, we've got a couple of super chats I want to hit real quick. So Michigan is always coming, never not coming, never pausing. That's from The Bull Will Win, a.k.a. Bull, a.k.a. B-Dub, with the 20 burger. We got, what you going to do, Caden, when Michigan Nation runs wild on you, brother? Love that. And GT, I've spent all week formulating a plan for our coaches to protect Bryce Underwood, and I have come up with a foolproof one. Play Jaden Davis. How about that? Play Jaden Davis. And that'll definitely protect Bryce Underwood and probably cause him potentially to transfer if they sit him for Jaden Davis right now. That may be the only thing that may cause that. Because I think otherwise the man is locked in with Michigan 1,000,000%. But you play Jaden Davis just because you want to protect Bryce. I know you're cracking wise. I got you. We love GT here. All right, here we go with our next caller. We've got Cam in the house. Cam, Thanks for calling in.
No problem. No problem. Go blue, man.
Hey, go blue. How you doing? How you doing? What's on your mind?
Um, I'm feeling okay today. I watched the game again, and
I'm sorry.
yeah, but I want to look and see how the trenches played. And like I said before, when I call y'all, they didn't play with toughness. So I think that screwed up a lot of the offense. And then we got too conservative, and I think he's scared to play BRYCE how he plays. I think that's the bottom line, because if the other quarterback from Oklahoma can do that, and BRYCE got more talent than him, well, do that. And then you'll see. Because I'm gonna be honest, he still ain't acclimated to the NCAA how they play football, because we handcuffing him.
Yeah.
You know, you got to
Yeah.
get him. I don't want to say this to discourage anybody. You got to get him hit in the mouth. And what I mean by that, when he's running, he got to get hit so he can feel, so he can know he can play with these boys. Until y'all just let him sit there and don't get him acclimated to the offense and the playing, he's going to be uncomfortable. And through all that, we still had a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter.
It's true. You are 100% true. And Dave Portnoy, I think, said it best. That game should have been a lot further away than it. The fact that Michigan was still in it because of penalties, because of some of the Michigan defense forcing turnovers, Mateer throwing to our guy. I mean, there was definitely some of that. But I'm with you 100%. The fact that Sharon Moore basically said, "I'm scared to run BRYCE because you need two quarterbacks." That's soft behavior right there. And maybe now's the right time for him to take a couple weeks off. And let's see what happens with this offense. Let's see what Chip Lindsey can draw up, because here's the thing. What I've seen Chip Lindsey do as offensive coordinator for UNC, for Auburn, for others, it didn't look like it. The only things that looked the same were some of the screens, some of the play action. But all of that 12 personnel, inside zone, over and over and over. That's Sharon. We all know.
There you go. Yep, that's Sharon Moore. That's Sharon Moore all day. And the fact that we keep starting off slow with Sharon Moore in these games. You can go back to the first game we had against New Mexico, where we couldn't put up at least 50 points because we had the talent. It got complacent. And you could look on the players. It got complacent. In the second half of the Oklahoma game, they came out like gangbusters. Boom, boom, boom. Then when we get the ball back, what they do? They stall.
Right.
They stall. No creation. The bubble screen is not working, so don't throw out the bubble screen. What about the screen? What about the screen pass to the halfback? If they're going to blitz you like that, let them come, dump it off to our man in 22, and let him go, because they can't tackle him when he get to the second level.
You're right.
It take a couple more people to tackle him.
And in the third quarter, like you're saying, after OU forces the ball back, or after we get that deflection, the Derek Moore deflects the ball on third down, and we get the ball back. Haynes then goes for -3 yards, and maybe that should have been an indication. Maybe let's maybe move away from the same thing over and over again. Then you have a rollout, which was overthrown. I actually love rollouts in these types of situations, because when your line isn't doing a fantastic job, move the line, move the conversation. Yes. Sean Lewis did that at Colorado when they had a Swiss cheese O-line worse than ours. And he ran a lot of rollouts, a lot of play action, a lot of moving the pocket so that Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter could get it in the end zone. Right. But in this case, Bryce overthrew it, and maybe that's one of the reasons that kind of gave them a little bit of pause. But like, he's going to do that. He's literally he's a freshman, just turned 18. Let him make mistakes, but at least like give him an opportunity to cook, right? And then they run a screen on 3rd and 13, like you said, a screen on 3rd and 13,
and they read that. It was like they know our playbook in the second half. It was a lot worse in the second half. It's like they knew our playbook, and we probably need to play some freshmen. I think it's coming down to that because
Nate
number
Marshall.
one, yes. Number one, like I told everybody, they don't believe me. If you really look at him, he has no separation. So if he has no separation, Bryce should know we're connecting him. Hey, if you 1-on-1, I'm gonna throw the ball to you. Go get the ball. Jump ball. Try to do some of that backyard like JJ McCarthy did with the backyard when he knew what's our tight end we had?
Holston Loveland.
Poston Loveland. Some of them plays he threw it to him because he knew Poston Loveland was gonna get the ball. He was gonna come up with it or he was gonna draw the flag. So if we can do that just to get his confidence and number one confidence, we might be okay. But I think we really need to start playing some freshmen.
Yeah. Any kind of top of mind? Because like I wonder how their evaluation is going that they still have in the wide receiver positions. Samaj Morgan, they have Donovan McCauley, I think, did earn his keep at OU. He went for almost 100 yards. That's pretty good for a Michigan receiver, right? That's pretty good. And then Channing Goodwin had a couple of really good plays against New Mexico. But Andrew Marsh, yeah, he made a mistake. Yeah, he didn't turn around. But he was, in that play, he wasn't the hot route. He wasn't supposed, like, in that, when that concept was practiced, it wasn't Samaj Morgan. It was Channing Goodwin, I believe, who was the hot route in that particular situation. So like he didn't know that he had to turn around because that's not how they practiced it, right? And that might be a high school mentality that he needs to learn. Hey, sometimes there's going to need to be some improv, and you're going to need to
there you go,
turn around because he turns around and catches that. That's 7 points.
Yeah, because
right?
Bryce, because when he threw it, Bryce turned his head like dude was wide open. All he got to do is turn around. So I think the wide receivers coach need to tell them, look for the ball. I don't care if you're not getting or not. Look for the ball. And we was taught that playing Pop Warner in high school and so on. Turn around, look for the ball. Turn around when you run your route. If it's a hot read, look for the ball, no matter where the hot read supposed to go. Because, like you said, it should have been Shamar Morgan, but Shamar Morgan was covered. If you look at it again, he was covered. So Bryce knew where the ball supposed to go to. He went to his second read. So
Exactly.
I think they need to start improvising. And the defense, we're gonna have a little pushback with the defense until I said the mid-season, and that's like 4 or 5 games. It's gonna look a lot better than what it is looking right now because we have at least 6 brand new starters, almost half and half, almost.
I'd say so.
So if we have newcomers coming over, never played in the scheme, coming over to an NFL type scheme, is going to be some mishaps. And you saw it in Oklahoma. You saw it. People was overrunning they zone, their lines, all that. You saw that. That's going to happen. I get it. That's going to happen. But we need to at least score 40 and 50 points. I don't care how we get it, but we need to score 40 and 50 points because that means we can get the other second string and third strings in.
Yeah, and I will say to your point about the wide receivers, Cam, I have caught an endless wave of grief for my criticism of Ron Bellamy.
Yeah, it shows.
But what are we seeing? The same
Mm-hmm.
things I've talked about for like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
The same things I talked about in 2023. I was pointing this stuff out in 2023, and that was the national championship season, but I saw a lack of coaching from people who aren't Roman Wilson, who I think took his own initiative in a lot of ways to
Mm-hmm.
level up. I think that was partly him that did that. But also, like, there's been a consistent underperformance for years on the wide receiver. This isn't new. And I don't understand why Chip Lindsey wasn't allowed to bring his wide receiver coach from UNC. I really don't understand when Sharon made the decision to bring in Soup Campbell essentially to babysit. Well, if you're going to do that, why not just bring in an experienced wide receiver coach as the wide receiver coach? And Ron Bellamy can go and work somewhere else. He was on the Michigan staff. He's going to get a job.
Yeah.
Okay. He'll get a job.
Or they could have had him step back and had Soup Campbell and the one from North Carolina come, and he could have been a recruiter. And also he could have been a mentor for them two right there to show them, okay, this is the keys. This is how you show them when it's pressed. You show them how to beat press. Okay, when they playing off, you tell them, I'm gonna be the hot read. I'm the hot read. Regardless if you're not getting the ball or not, you still gotta pay attention on the field. And I think that's what's lacking in Michigan in their wide receivers. Because they're not getting the ball, they're not paying attention to the play. They just running routes with their head turned going down the field instead of at least knowing that, okay, if BRYCE Campbell, okay, I got to come back. You got to come to the ball. Don't wait on the ball. You come to the ball. If it's a hot read, okay, if it's a hot read, I might can get the ball because it's a hot read. Because you on the other side don't mean you can't get the ball. So you have to beat your man within 5 yards. And that's what I think that's what it is. We're not beating our man within 5 yards. Because if we beat our man within 5 yards, you see what happened. Chadwin Goodwin, you see what happened. When he beat his man within 5 yards, he's gone. He get the ball to him. So I think we have to learn how to beat our man within that 5 yards, because within that 5 yards, they can grab, they can hold, they can do all that. So, man, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I hate to say it, y'all was talking about Ohio State. I hate to say it. We beat Ohio State, that's fine. But to get to their level, we have to start reloading. That's like you said, they know how to reload off a national championship, even off a 12-2 season. They know how to reload. They beat Talks. They always in that top 5 a conversation of winning the whole thing, or the top 5 in the coaches poll, or the NCAA, the BCS poll, whatever you want to call. So for us to get to that level, yeah, we beat them 4 straight. That's good. But do we have the coaches to build up the talent that we have?
That's a real tough, hard question. And I think the answer right now is I really am not sure. I think when you look at everything from top to bottom, I know people are going to say it's only one game. It's only one game. But here's the thing. I'm concerned now that every year, let's be charitable and say that the same thing will happen that happened last year. Let's be charitable and say Michigan will get better throughout the year, and maybe they beat Ohio State again, or at the very least, it ends in a 8-9 win season. Okay. My concern is that it takes way too long for Michigan to get really, really good. And I think that that's an indictment on what the hell are they doing in practice? Why aren't they picking up more wide receiver talent from the portal? Why aren't they picking up more O-line talent from the portal? Now it's really showing because El Hadi went down. Sprague got beat up. I don't know what's going to happen there. The O-line could be a whole bunch of different guys next week because people are going down. And so the lack of portal pickups, it's really going to start showing. And I don't know. And then Sharon Moore's out for starting on Saturday. So I think
that might be the thing though, because now he can't handcuff what Tim Lindsay can do. Because I'm gonna be honest, that them two games looked like a Sharon Moore team. Let's just win. Let's don't get nobody hurt. Let's just win. And if we score 50 and we score 40 to 50 points against Central Michigan, that's to tell us something. That should really tell us something about why is we, when we get punched in the mouth, why we dialing back instead of punching them in the mouth? Why we just, taking the scared approach and be like, wait a minute, let's don't get blowout. Let's keep the game close and then see if we can do something in the fourth quarter to win the game. No, you got to come with it. You got to come with it. And I'm just glad that we didn't do blowout in the Oklahoma game. And I'm glad the defense rose, even though they gave up 400 all-purpose yard. But with that saying, though, that was one guy. That was the quarterback.
Don't you think it's a little bit sad, though, that we're kind of glad our head coach is going to be out? Like, that's a little bit shocking and worrying that we're now in a position where we want our head coach to be out because then maybe Chip Lindsay will get to run his actual offense. That to me is alarming at best.
Yeah.
Right? Like, did anybody think we were going to be in this position? I knew it wasn't going to be amazing all the time, but here we are. And we're hoping that Chip gets to run his own offense against the Central Michigan Chippewas. That's where we are. So I'm hoping for a big blowout. That would be really awesome. And then a Nebraska win would be really awesome because I think that'll really help everybody's confidence in the team. And Bryce needs to build it too. As an 18-year-old, he needs to build that confidence. So I think Central Michigan's really going to help. He can work through his progressions like he has been. He can work on his accuracy, his overthrows, because there were a couple of key overthrows in the last game. Again, I don't put a lot of that on him. He was pressured. Oklahoma defense was reading it perfectly all game. Venables was on it. But Central Michigan isn't going to be nearly as difficult in the trenches. So because of that, hopefully it can be a confidence builder.
And I want to know this. Why do
this will be a final thought because we got 3 callers now.
I want to know this and I want to ask anybody that can answer this question. This is college and pros. Why do coaches don't find out what the good in their quarterback, the throws that he can make, what play that he runs the best, and implement into their offense? Why they try to get a quarterback and fit him into their scheme instead of finding out that first year what he's good in through? Like Bryce, I saw all his high school. I saw all of it. You mean to tell me you can't find out what plays he liked the most that he's good and accurate in instead of just putting them in your scheme and telling him to figure it out? Because that's what I'm seeing.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate just for a second because I think this was the plan. And from Chip Lindsay and Sharon's statements in the media, I kind of am piecing this together. I think that the plan was to rely on defense, pound the rock, and kind of like Penn State second half 2023, pound the rock, escape with a win by like 1 point. The problem is when that didn't work, there was no plan B. And that's my problem, because throughout the game, where's the plan B? They ran later in the game, they ran Marshall 4 yards, 2 yards. He does get a first down. McCauley's wide open. And then more Marshall. It's just continued. And it's like, here's my issue. Oklahoma leaned on Mateer to win that game for them.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
I understand he has way more experience. I understand that. I get it. But when things were going off the rails, you have the highest rated freshman recruit in the history of college football.
Yep.
Okay. A perfect 100, first time ever. And you're not going to just try to let him sling it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just continued to pound the rock the entire time. And it really kind of boggled my mind. So anyway, so yeah, final thought for us, Cam, before we move on.
Okay, final thought. These next 2 games, I want to see with the defense, do your job. Like Charles Woodson said in the 97 season, don't worry about the next man. Do your job.
Yep.
And with the offense, I want to see toughness and explosive plays. I don't care how you get it, but toughness and explosive plays to give us confidence. That's all we need is confidence. Because once Michigan get that confidence getting rolling, we all know in the past 4 or 5 years in the second half of the season, Michigan is hard to beat.
John, I love it.
All right, I appreciate you, man. Go Blue. We got to score over 40 and 50 points. Go Blue. Appreciate you, man.
Go Blue, Cam. Folks that are watching this on X, I'm going to ask all of you to head over to YouTube. We're going to be dropping the X feeds here in a minute or two. Head on over to YouTube now if you want to keep hanging with us the rest of the show. We are going guaranteed 2 hours. So we still got another hour and 20 minutes guaranteed. And you guys can make it a third hour, 55 to go. I might have to recount that. I've been doing that, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We've got Michigander admitting you're purposely holding the playbook back because you're scared is a fireable offense. You're admitting you don't care to win or lose as long as BRYCE is healthy. That's not Michigan ball. Thank you, Michigander. I was absolutely shocked when he said that. Absolutely shocked. And frankly, I do think that's something we got to look at when we're evaluating. Like, okay, so we're holding the playbook back now. Like, because you're afraid that you're going to get... Like, BRYCE is a big dude. BRYCE is not a spring flower. BRYCE is a tough dude. He was running a block for his guy in the first game. Like, this is like a, we just played OU. It reminded me of like a Baker Mayfield block that he used to do. Like, this guy can handle it. Let him. Don't leave a Ferrari in the garage. Michigander, if it's a 35-10 game or 35-17, there needs to be some serious conversation to be had. This isn't a rebuilding year. We need a blowout. A blowout. Michigander, what do we... tell me, you don't have to super chat it, but tell me what you think a blowout is. Like a 55-3 or what? Because your scores are closer to what I predicted. I think we're headed for a good win, but nothing that's going to shatter the earth. Michigander says Sharon was hired as the head coach to keep the same culture and continue to develop elite offensive lines. He has actually done the opposite. Isn't that wild? All right, folks, let's get to our next caller. We've got Bull in the house, no
What's going
shirt,
on?
making it happen, doing the damn thing. How you doing,
That's
Bull?
right. Screw shirts, man. Screw shirts. I'm watching this Wake Forest NC State game. It's a barn burner almost over here, man. It's looking just footballs flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, all just tons of throws downfield. Crazy, crazy, crazy catches
Oh,
too.
throws downfield? What's that?
Um, I
What is
do. I
that?
think
I have
it's
no
when
idea
I
what
think
that
the
is.
quarterback attempts to throw the ball past like I think 10 yards or something like that. I don't know. I don't know that much about football. Like
Michigander says he wants to see a
49
45 to
10.
10 or 49 to 10 victory against the Central Michigan Chippewas.
Yeah. I mean, I guess after all of the talk and just trying to I try to limit how many podcasts I listen to now because I realize I listen to too many and I probably overload my brain.
Well,
It's my third
just hang with this one at least.
that's no, I agree. That's what my therapist said. She's like, I feel like you're consuming a lot, Chris. And I'm like, maybe. I don't know. I listen to a lot. But I guess from speaking of that, because I was watching the roundtable today, and I was trying to, and I also listened to, Sam Webb's, breakdowns with Vance and with Al Borges and stuff. And I think, you know, some of them were saying offensive line wasn't great. It was okay, I guess. They said a lot. It seemed like a lot of what was happening in that game was very much just play calling related, I guess. That it was something where it's hard to block things, it's hard to cover things when just the defense is just ultra aggressive and you do nothing to counter the aggressiveness, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I really wanted more RPOs, quite honestly. I wanted a little bit more downfield strikes. I don't even I didn't even want him to like toss it up. I was like, yo, can someone run a quick slant and him just toss it?
Yeah,
Can we
a
just do
basic
that?
slant.
If like they are going downhill, they are like going, and stuff. And so that's something where like you just that's just what it is, right? Like it's just, and we can't combat that. Same thing with last year. It was very, but the problem was that and it's not wasn't a problem last year, but I think the difference between last year and this year, last year that was our identity. Like that's just what Sharon Moore was like. This is what we're cooking with. This is what we're doing. So if we got to try to pass a little bit, I guess, but we're going to run this ball. I'll tell you that much, right? And the offense of line can execute that pretty well. Now, again, a lot of loaded boxes. It was watching paint dry sometimes last year, right? So this year, we're like, okay, what you got now? And Chip Lindsey's brought on to give us a little more
Yeah,
of a passing attack.
right.
Also as MO, like, was horizontal screens and stuff. So, and you're like, great, that's some comfortable stuff. But at the end of the day, for only going, behind the line of scrimmage stuff and side to side stuff, we need to hit some downfield stuff at some point. And it was, yeah, very, very much well agree. It was very much handcuffed. Something was off. Something was weird. You could say, people bring up maybe Sharon Moore was calling the plays. I don't know, but looked like just looked like nothing was working, and it needed something downfield to get the defense off. That just seemed what it was at the end of the day, right? Like everyone saw it. We're like, we get it. This might have worked against New Mexico, but we need to go down the field because these guys are just not giving up. They're sending, at least five people, every play. So it was and more. And so it was definitely difficult to watch and see, trying to watch the offense execute stuff where maybe it was just unexecutable. That's what it seemed like from the breakdowns and then the roundtable. I think Brian really talked about it. He was just like some of the execution on offensive line was hard to make when you have people running at the line of scrimmage. Like they're like they know what's going on. Safeties and linebackers are literally just trying to get a running head start. And you're running the ball or you're running a
Yeah,
quick bubble screen. So
yeah.
it's like,
It boggles my mind, Bull, that Like, Venables knew what we were going to do. He knew what we were going to do. He schemed the whole game against the run and the quick throw because he knew that that's what we were going to do. And so when that stopped, when that wasn't working, the fact that there was no answer, it makes me think a couple of things. One, the line is just so bad at pass protection that they really are worried about getting BRYCE rocked. Which I mean, look, the line isn't good, so there is a kernel of validity there. But like to not even try to consistently throw downfield, to continue to go back stubbornly to
Yeah.
12 personnel inside zone, one after another, then a horizontal screen that goes nowhere, then like a running back screen that goes nowhere, a 3rd and 13 screen, a 3rd and 6 run call, and then you don't even like. I thought that Sharon was setting up for a 4th down when he was doing that.
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
I didn't think that he was gonna punt it. I thought that when he had that 3rd and 6 that he was gonna go for the 4th down. So that all just shocked me. And so I don't know. I'm hoping that we see a little bit more downfield because I think McCauley is capable and I think Channing Goodwin is capable.
Yeah.
Maybe Andrew
And there was
Marsh
plays
too.
to be made downfield, right? I think we all agree that, when some tight ends leaked out, there was some it just inconsistent. I think it was just extremely inconsistent play. They also said that from the defensive side of the ball, just a very inconsistent play across the board. Offensive line not executing, tight ends apparently not prepared. Sadly, just not knowing what to do or what they were supposed to do, which I blame Kasula for that. Like
Yeah.
we have one tight end, like you got to prepare everyone of them, man. Like people were injured through camp. Like you got to prepare these guys. If if we got tight ends blocking nobody in a 12-man personnel, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing, man. I don't know what you're doing out here. So because I guess they ran some duos and they said they were blocking no one or they were failing. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, that's not good. So
Blocking no one. And then for some of the play actions, BRYCE was turning the wrong direction. And there was just
so
some weird phantom
yeah, so
things going on
some of
there.
that was that Al Borges was saying that maybe there was a heated exchange there, they said, between Haynes, and I think what they said, what people were trying to say was Bryce was trying to let him know. So on some of them, he was picking up a blitz. So they say that if your number one priority is running back in those play action plays, you pick up the man coming at the quarterback. If it's linebacker, whoever it is, breaking free, pick him up. So if he did give him air, then he could have picked up that blitz. And also, as well as, I think that one play that might have actually been on Haynes for like, yo, dude, like you went the wrong way. You're supposed to fake. You went the wrong way, my man. So I think that's where that was. But I also want to say congratulations, beautiful Mike. Everyone in chat, please give him props. Congratulate John. The mic sounds great. No
Appreciate that.
problems. Okay, the cutting of all the programs or whatever it was, great. No,
Yep. Figured it out finally. We're all good.
you sound like a radio host now. You can
That's
be on radio and it's nice and soothing.
that's what the goal was. Take that, Chris.
Take it, suck it. But no, but yeah. So no, but congrats on that, John.
Thank you.
You look good. You sound good. When you look good, when you sound good,
You feel good.
feel good. When you feel good,
You play good.
you play good. And when you play good,
They pay good.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
There it is.
Picking it up.
All right, Bull. Any final thoughts for us?
I mean, final thought is, I think what I see a pattern because I'm good at math and everything, but math doesn't have to do too much with this. I guess it's more scheduling. Is I feel like the previous 2 years, I think besides because I just checked it out, 2021 season. We might have played Washington early when they were in the Pac-12.
Yeah, 21 we
But
played Washington.
but then 22 and 23 was pretty much a very cupcake preseason type of format
Yep.
for us. And I think that helps. I think that helps a lot because we're having these conversations. I think it's something that benefited us as Michigan. Because I'm gonna be honest with everyone. I think Sharon Moore has the classes to of talent coming up. Problem is, we're in freshman season right now. We need to then get to sophomore season. Then we need to get Jews, and we need to stack these classes. And it's just a hard pill to swallow sometimes when you're trying to bring talent in, and yes, the development is lacking. You can say that because technically that's what we were built on, and it's sort of fell off the last couple of years, I felt, because we're not building up these lower tier guys. They should be ready by now. They've been in the cooker enough. They should be ready to go. And when you don't have that good development or as good as we need it to be, and we're having these last two seasons, these week two huge games, it rears its head. It's ugly head sometimes, I feel like. And because we don't have that cupcake preseason, I think I spoke about last year, that hurts us. That hurts my hurt, morale and pointing fingers and shit like that. And that sucks. And I think I would prefer to go back to cupcake season just to
Yeah.
just to build momentum. You can build momentum. You can build development a lot easier. Especially our championship year, it was just slowly but surely building up everyone's confidence and
Right.
everything. And especially in these last 2 years where we have new coordinators, on the offensive, mainly on the offensive side of the ball, it's hard to build continuity so quickly. So when you're facing good competition. So I think be having a different discussion if we were facing Eastern Carolina,
Yeah, or Grambling State.
or
Yeah.
Grambling State
Yeah.
or Mercer for DeReal, you little bitch.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
These SEC programs playing high school teams.
exactly. So it's like,
Painful.
yeah, exactly. So if we were in the same boat, yeah, we would feel good about ourselves a lot better, and we would be able to
Yeah.
build momentum and development and continuity, and
It
it
probably
would
would have
be
been New Mexico 3 times in a row, except easier because New Mexico actually threw a couple things at us that I think we wouldn't see from some of the others.
exactly. So at the end of the day, we have everything in front of us. I feel like, yes, we do have some sort of tricky road games to play, especially our schedule, which is pretty wonky, where it's, home, away, home, away, home, away, home, away, pretty gnarly. But it's not like we travel that far, except for USC. So that's the only game that I do fear, honestly.
Mm.
Nebraska, we'll see. That is still a big test. Hopefully it's not a night game. Jesus, I hope that's not a night game because those people get crazy down there. So those
In
night
the
games,
Nebraska game?
yeah.
Oh, that's not a night game. No.
Okay, cool.
I think it's a 3:30.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not as bad.
Yeah,
So
3:30.
yeah, the USC game is weary because I think they're going to be slowly building momentum against Cupcakes. Because I think after us, they play Notre Dame. USC does. So their
I
schedule starts
wouldn't
from.
be surprised if Michigan goes on a winning streak here. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a big noon kickoff game.
Oh, USC Michigan.
Could be. I don't know what
That
the
would
rest of the
benefit us. I
slate
feel
looks
like a little
like,
bit.
but I wouldn't be shocked to see that.
Yeah, that would be nice. But
Either
but yeah.
that or the CBS game of the week.
Oh, CBS. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then they do that early too. But yeah, no, I think we just gotta, just keep even keel, man. I'm not trying to pump too much hope because last year I pumped a lot of hope. It didn't work out. So just gonna be even keel. Just, sit back, see what happens, see if we mature, we develop here. Let's watch the offensive line a little bit here, the tight ends especially, because uh I don't know if it's gonna be a blowout, guys, because we're gonna be playing a lot of backups, a lot of second or third stringers. I'm gonna tell you all that because our offensive line's beat up. Our apparently our only workable tight end, is probably going to be
Yeah.
out a couple more weeks. If I had to guess, he's probably going to be back for USC. I mean, I think Devin Gardner, yeah, Devin Gardner said that he's had one of those injuries and he was out like 3 weeks. But he was a quarterback, so like with a high ankle sprain, they say that's like 3 to 4 weeks to get over. And he's a tight end and he's got a block. So, we'll see. I hope not, but um, someone's got to step up. I think that's the biggest thing. I think the players will see after watching Oklahoma tape, which it is rough. That
Yeah.
yo, we just need to step up. We need to step up. We need to
Justice
just,
Haynes propping up this team right now, and a couple guys on defense. We got to have more
and
guys stepping
that's
up.
a great sign, dude. I'm gonna be honest, man. Our running backs these last fucking half a decade. Yeah, bro.
That's the
Practically
one
decade.
consistent, like always consistent. That, and then I guess general defense being at least
Exactly.
pretty good,
Yeah, and I think our
right?
defense was pretty good. I mean, give credit to where credit is due. We missed some tackles, and the guy burned us for it on
Mhm.
blitzes. So I mean, we had the coverage, we had it okay. He just found the dink and dunk I mean, yeah, he tossed some balls up, but it was between some zone coverage. I think a few of those. So it's like, give him props. We try to get him, and I think that's also the thing is right. The coordinators are trying to find out who they have and what they can do, and um I think Brian and Seth pointed that out. Like they were having DNs go out into coverage a bit, and it just wasn't working. And like sometimes you just don't have those players to do that, or they just do nothing. So, um, just players got to step up. And I think the coordinators, sadly, they had a rough game to try to figure out of who they had and what they had to execute. And whatever, we got everything ahead of us. So we just
It's
gotta
true.
pack up, dig
Everything's still
deep,
ahead. Mhm.
fucking maul forward, smash, right? That's what we got.
Smash.
Or attempt to. It's spread and smash. Okay, we at least
Spread
gotta
and
do some
smash.
spread.
There it is.
We were
That's it.
trying to do a lot of smashing, and they didn't follow the shirt. If we had if everyone had bought more shorts and wore them, and spread the message out, spread. You gotta spread for it. You can't just smash, dude. It's gonna be a little rough. I saw GT there. He's like he said he was begging his wife to go cover zero for weeks. Hasn't done. I'm sorry, wife hasn't gone cover zero. I know it's hard out here. Okay, it's hard here for us married men sometimes, but yeah, you gotta spread first. You gotta spread. So
And on that note, before I let you go, just a reminder that we do have a new merch store going on.
that's right.
So,
And like the
spread
video,
and
people,
smash.
like the video, subscribe to the number one show in college football for Michigan football. Okay, guys, is number one. Let's go.
Appreciate you, Bull. All right. Have a good
Appreciate you,
night.
Joe.
Go
You
blue.
too. Go blue.
Love it. All right, folks. Before we get to our next caller, some Michigan medals coming up next, then Penn Game, Mar, West Quad, and Coach Moore in that order. So we appreciate all that. I'm going to ask everybody in here to hit that like button. We are going at least one more hour. So let's bring some folks in. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, bring everybody in, share the YouTube link out there. We got a couple of great callers ahead. Let's go ahead and play a video, a message from our friends at Win Agency, who's sponsoring the entire season of Michigan at Voice of College Football.
We are fired up for another great season of Michigan football. The energy is electric, and with the new talent we have this year, I believe we have a real shot at stacking up some wins and making it back to the playoffs. At Win Agency, we want to help you win as well. We can help you find the right health insurance for you, your family, or your business. We also offer life insurance to protect the people you love, as well as smart investment strategies to help you build a strong financial future. Whatever your goals are, we have you covered. Let's cheer on our boys in the maize and blue and make this season one of the best to remember. Go Blue!
All right. Thank you, Win Agency. And as GT said, hopefully we beat CMU so bad on Saturday. They will need Win Agency. That's right, folks. If you have life insurance needs or health insurance needs, let's give the folks that have helped us out the last season and change some love. And all right. Looks like we had a little internet blip there, but we are back. Let's go ahead and bring up Michigan Metal. Michigan Metal.
What's up,
Go
man?
Blue.
How you doing? Go Blue. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Life is good. Can't complain. Just hoping for a better showing against the Chippewas coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, I think we're all hoping that. Yeah. So nice to meet you, man. I do interact with like Michigander and a couple other people in the X community. Just a little bit of background myself. So this week I talked about this on my podcast, The Middle Ground with Ohio Divided, and we talked about and basically broke down the Oklahoma and Michigan game extensively, and we had a lot of key talking points. And like I think my biggest frustration just watching a game and it's intensively like just going through notes and watching game film, that I do have a theory that Sherrone Moore has a lot of control into what the offense is. And I do believe that Saturday was just a perfect example in showing that Moore and Lindsey are playing to not to lose, vice playing to win. Definitely with like the conservative like play calling that we showed and displayed with like the repetitive screen or run screen, and then on the 3rd and 6 situation to where like we run an upside the inside zone, and we nothing absolutely fucking goes from there, which it's just baffling to me. So I What was really interesting to watch the second half after Justice Haynes had the breakout run, I got a little hope, and I'm sure a lot of Michigan fans too at that point. I didn't see any adjustments made on the offense, and I know a lot of people were talking about this before me, that we were just basically undermatched
Right.
on defense, because I saw Oklahoma was sending 7. Like, for example, on that 4th and 1, where it was 36 seconds left in the fourth quarter, Oklahoma was sending 7, and we have 6 lined up. And I just don't understand what we're doing with that. And the bright minds in this offense decided to, hey, let's run an inside zone when we have 2 stacked on the left, and I think McCauley was stacked on the right, when there was like major separation from the DBs on McCauley, Morgan, and Goodwin, where we could have ran like a drag route, hitch route, or caused some separation to where Haynes could have did a wheel route, and we could have got that first down. But we all saw what happened with there. I do
Can I
think,
ask-
yeah,
You seem to know a thing or two about this stuff. Let me ask you a question. You're talking
yeah.
about what is, because people are asking, and maybe you have an answer for this. Why make the decision not to include slants? Like, does it require extra coaching of the receivers? Like, is it a more advanced level of like, I guess I just am unsure, as it did seem like at times like a slant, even a, and I'm not talking like all, like even if it's just a one 2 receivers doing it, doesn't have to be all out, but like even just as part of a concept. I mean, what holds teams back from calling those more?
So Michigan did run a slant concept with McCauley, and we saw what happened there, to where BRYCE overthrew McCauley. I think he was late. So, and the reason why, and they talked about this, Kirk Herbstreit was talking about this, that he threw off his back foot and like his feet weren't planted and his shoulders weren't basically pointing towards the target, which would have been McCauley. I mean, it really just has to do with like timing and touch, because like it's a quick play, right? It's a quick slant. So, the receiver runs up like basically 2 yards and then cuts either to the left or right, depending on what side of the field they're on. And then you just got to make that pass. And you also you have to, as a quarterback, you really have to make these pre-reads and kind of see how much pressure these DBs are forcing on the wide receivers. And either you can make some quick motion adjustments to see if the defense is running in zone or man, and if it's in man, you usually slants, and if they're pushing up and forcing a wide receiver, slants are usually the go-to. And if there's a little bit of space, hitch routes are the better option in that case. But again, it's more just about timing and touch at that point. If that answers that question.
Yeah. I just thought, I understand we ran it once, but it seems like something that when you're if you are trying to ease in a freshman quarterback, a slant is sometimes a great way to not force him to throw deep. At the same time, it's causing the defense to actually think about some things.
Right.
So at least it would break it up a little bit. I just, even with what they said that the game plan was, which is to kind of, focus on the run defense, and then, don't force Bryce to win the game for us.
Right.
Even if that's the case, it wasn't the best called game plan for that.
It wasn't.
That's why I'm no matter what their justification is, it doesn't make sense to me. It's not adding up. And so what I think the real answer is that they're trying to marry these two styles of 12 personnel, inside zone, some pin and pulls here and there, some things that Sharon likes to do. And then you mix that with what Chip wants to do, which is those screens, the running, he loves his running back screens, right? He loves his play action.
Right.
And they're trying to marry the two. And what surprises me is some of that, there was a little bit of marriage of that in 23. They did play some play action. They did play some of the screen game. They did a lot of this in 23. And that's really what boggles my mind more than anything else. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm curious. Do you think that with Sharon Moore out, now Chip Lindsey will feel more free to call his system the way he wants to?
I also think that we also had a better offensive line. I mean, Sharon Moore with control of the offensive line during that time,
and
it
was better.
Absolutely. It was better. We definitely had better players in position in the guards and tackles than we did in 24 and currently now. It's and I don't think that necessarily we don't. I feel like in 23, Roman Wilson was great, and Cornelius Johnson were great, and Samaj Morgan didn't really do much besides the couple screen passes where he had for a touchdown and playing on special teams. I mean, I feel like we have the talent to to excel on offense, with this the schemes that we're running. It's just there's a lot of ambiguity between BRYCE and the receivers, to which possibly they can overcome this as the season goes on. But it's something they just really need to pick up, because there was the RPO play to where McCauley was blocking the DB, and then Bryce threw it in his direction. And then the other play where McCauley was Bryce thought that McCauley was running a corner route, and then McCauley ran a post route and he was wide open, and then Bryce threw it towards the corner. This stuff is just unacceptable. I mean, I know that we're gonna go through these obstacles, especially with a freshman quarterback and new coaching. But it's something that we really need to overcome and adapt to, especially as the season progresses. The offense, it felt like Bryce was losing a weapon with Marlon Klein just out, and I know some people we talked some people talked about this too, that it doesn't really seem like there's really that much depth in a tight end room, or we're not using tight ends correctly, that we just completely changed the game plans to play soft. The New Mexico game, it was a completely different offense. And I
I
understand
agree.
that we're playing Brent Venables defense. However, like we didn't see any of the plays that was executed at New Mexico for Oklahoma, and I just didn't understand that, especially when we're sending 7. Like the use of RPO when they're sending 7 would have executed so well, and I just didn't get it. I don't understand it. Like
Do you
why?
think part of that is because they noticed that the line was doing such a bad job of protections, especially in pass pro? Like, do you
Uh,
think that impacted the decisions on throwing deep versus not versus?
I mean, I
Yeah.
think it could have been like definitely a possible outcome on why we decided to change the schematics up to
Yeah.
play more conservative. But I mean, you saw like Bryce's biggest plays were when he did either a play action rollout or sprint outs, and we only did that twice. And that was when McCauley and Morgan got those big plays. Um, and we just kind of just like basically regressed back to just being conservative and just running up the middle again towards a brick wall. Like, I mean, we're running wing pro sets where we have the line is stacked with like
Mhm.
like 8 not 8 personnel like 9 personnel, and then we have no, not 9, 8 personnel, and then we have a wide receiver, which was McCauley, out to the right, and then a halfback in the back, and then
Right.
Oklahoma's matching that, and they're completely overpowering us every single time because we're just running into a brick wall. Like we're
It
not.
was so stubborn that
It
they didn't
was. It really
adjust
was.
the whole game.
It really was. It felt like I was watching Penn State 2023, but the basically the most like nuclear chaotic version of where we don't win that game and we don't run down their throats at all. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Michigan Metal, this is really good chat. I definitely want you calling back in on post game or
Yeah.
whenever. Doors always open. I do have 5 callers behind
No,
Elvis.
that's fine, man.
Thanks to everybody for holding in there. For a while, it was just like me and one other, and now all of a sudden we got a whole party line here. But give us a final thought and what you hope to see Saturday.
I think that we will see a completely different offense on Saturday. I'm predicting that we'll see like Chip Lindsey's spread offense, and like we'll obviously more attack down the field with the passing game, like obviously more explosive plays. I'm hoping that reflects over to playing against Nebraska, because I know a lot of people are underestimating Nebraska. I do think that they have a pretty good defense and a pretty stellar defensive line, so they might be a problem. But as long as like we just don't play conservative and don't play to lose, I think we'll be just fine. And then if you guys want to basically just follow me on Twitter or whatever, check me out at Michigan Metal. And then definitely would like to come back on and talk more Michigan football sometime soon. So
Yeah, man. Doors always open.
cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Michigan Metal. Appreciate you. And so it's just we just follow you at Michigan Metal.
Yeah, and then I have a podcast called The Middle Ground if you guys want to check out too.
All right. Let me make sure I'm following you. I'll make sure to do that. Thanks a lot for coming on, okay?
Hey, let me ask, what kind of mic did you get? Is that a Shure?
Yeah.
Nice. I got one too. It's actually pretty good. I'm not using it right now, but I got the Focusrite USB audio stuff, so it works pretty well.
SM7B.
Nice. That's good. Shure mics are awesome.
Yeah, I'm loving this so far. Good sound, much better than the last one. The last one was not supposed to last me 5 years. I really got that maximum use out of that one, and now we've got the full on setup here. So
all right, man.
On up in the world.
All right, man. You take care, bud.
Thanks, Michigan Metal. Go Blue.
Go Blue.
All right, Pen Game, you're up next. We're gonna take a couple super chats real quick, and then we'll get to your call. Thanks to everybody. We are now just $15 away from a third hour of the show, and that will be our last hour. So if you want a third hour, 15 to go, and then we'll get our third and final hour of the show, and then your boys gotta go to work tomorrow. So all right, folks, let's see here. We've got a couple of super chats. Has anyone noticed that when we showed a blitz look on defense, John Mateer would check out of a play and we didn't adjust at all? Yeah, and I also noticed that there wasn't a spy on Mateer, at least for some of the game. I noticed that. Like, they had a spy at times, but then they didn't at times. And it's like, you got to have a spy on this guy at all times. He's going to run. He's going to run. And he's really good at it. And he's basically their only runner. So, like, have a spy. It's kind of the basics. Host of Rutgers Scarlet Knights Live at the Voice of College Football, Adam Lamparella with the 25 burger here. The problem is at quarterback. Underwood may be an incredible talent with an NFL future, but he's a true freshman and won't be able to handle a complex Brent Venables defense. He needs time to grow. Adam, I know you are not high on Bryce, but he is nowhere near the problem right now. He is nowhere near the worst problem. He's 18. He's exactly where he needs to be. I was impressed by his poise. I was impressed that he continued to be a dog the whole game. I like the fact that him and Haynes had a little bit of a thing on the sidelines. I like that. Like, they were showing fire. They were showing more passion and more fire than their head coach. So I actually think he's one of the bright spots right now. I think his line needs to get better. I think his protections need to get better. I even noticed that the wide receivers at times were not blocking correctly. Samaj Morgan missed a block. Max Bredesen whiffed on a block, which is not like him at all. So, like, his protections were failing him, and I think that was part of the issue. You got to have protections no matter how good you are. I don't care if you're Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has a stout O-line and Kelsey and everybody protecting him. So, Michigander, when we ran heavy sets of 12, 13-man personnel, we were able to run the ball effectively. Why? Because we had enough blockers, just like on the 75-yarder. Yeah, at times, I think that those personnel groupings make sense, but not all the time. And I think that when you're running through the teeth of a 8 or 9-man box, then you got to spread it out. And sometimes it's about spread and smash. It's not just smash anymore, it's spread and smash. Because sometimes when they're loading the box to that extent, you got to move out. You got to move out. Folks, thanks to Quinn, we are, in fact, going 3 hours today. That's right, folks. And we have callers lined up that I think will take us pretty much the entire way. So thank you for unlocking the max of 3 hours. That's right, folks. We're going for it. And thank you to Quinn for making that happen. Also, Bull is the last super chat here, and then we'll get to Pen Game. We can't let pale QBs run all over us. Not cool, soft. Yeah, just spy. Spy more. All right, let's go to Pen Game. Pen Game, thank you so much for waiting patiently there. Go Blue. How you doing tonight?
What's up, John? Go Blue, man. He's crazy for that, man. I'm still laughing at that comment. Pale QBs. He's funny. I got a couple points here, man, that I got. Good mic. Good mic.
Thank you.
Like the mic.
Appreciate
you know, I'm always associated with Mike, so I gotta definitely give you props with your mic. That's a good mic. The Bull and Metal. Shout out to those fellas that came on here before. They brought up very good points, which I actually jotted down a couple notes and will go off of those points that those guys brought up, because a lot of what they're saying is correct. And then I will give a brief, description of, my sports background, even though a lot of people know me from music.
Sure.
John, TJ, we've spoken behind the scenes. They know I have a sports knowledge and background playing in the Jayhawk Conference. Same one as Sharon Moore. He went to Butler. I went to Pratt. Coach got fired. We went to Independence, which was in the Last Chance U. I think everybody saw. when I went to Independence, their football team was terrible. They were taking us basketball players. They were begging people to join that football team. So I went ahead and went ahead and did it for spring, feeling yeah, out here in Independence, Kansas, nothing to do. Forget it. I'm gonna be busy all day. It's really important to get cohesion with the offensive line. I'm sorry. Like nothing about the offensive line. And I also want to break down something when you have an elite or good defense from the first day of camp, you are already behind because you are already mentally and physically a step behind. Because the defense, we had a very good defense during that year. They were all over us. It was hard to even get plays off. And now you're up to the season, and that's why we're kind of seeing these delays. Schedule was brought up. I think Bull brought that up. You kind of want to have a cupcake schedule, man. You're bringing in a new offensive coordinator who not only we're not talking his philosophy, we're talking a merger of philosophies. That is difficult stuff, man. You as I don't care
Right.
if you are a yeah, thank you, John. I don't care if you are a junior, senior, you're learning new stuff and you want to be situated by that time. You want to be learning during freshman and sophomore. Juniors, you don't want to be learning new stuff because it's mentally you're going to be a step behind. So I don't think we all should panic because that's just a part of the growth process. And then we bring up the cohesion. You got a freshman quarterback. Like I don't like the one guy said he doesn't care how talented he is. He's not, and like you said, come on now, like he's not the problem. You agree with me on that, or I agree with
Yeah.
you.
I
He's
think
not.
I think he's one of the least problems right now.
I think he's the most talented player on the field.
Yeah,
And it's
me too.
clear and obvious because age, when you're out there on the field or on the court, because I play ball mainly, you know when you see a younger guy, you got him mentally. But as the game goes on, you're able to see, okay, this guy's not backing down. When a guy he's not getting picked up off the ground every other play. He has not had a game like that. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't had a game like that. So we have to look at the fact that the missed opportunities. What's his name? Zach Marshall. We were talking about the tight ends.
Yeah.
Zach Marshall had a wheel route that was
Yep.
wide
Wide
open.
open.
If Bryce waits a little bit longer, or if the offensive line holds up a little bit longer, to the point, we're not saying that he was a play away from getting sacked, but the speed of that game. You're in the SEC, your night game, you're a freshman, you're 18 years old. A guy just turned 18 a month ago. That matters, man. That matters.
Yeah.
I've been to Norman, had basketball camps with Coach Sampson when he was with the Sooners. We went on that field. I think I tweeted somebody stepped on the field and an alarm went off. So that field is a very intimidating environment, and he handled it well. He handled it well, man.
Yeah.
So
I want to tackle your point. I want to hit on your O-line point because
okay,
people might be talking about the O-line. I don't think people are talking enough about how important the O-line is
yes,
to everything else. When you're play calling against New Mexico, you have more of a trench advantage, right? I understand that that's not the entire reason, but that had to at least be part of the reason why there were so many issues. Like Evan Link was actually one of the better players on Saturday with respect to the O-line. El Hadi was having problems. Crippen was getting put on his ass. Sprague was having problems again, and this is the second game. The O-line was not holding up, and I don't know. We were screaming for O-line help in the portal, and they got a couple of guys. They got Hatar, but what do you think? Because you know this stuff. You played. You've been in this. Like what's the solution? Like what do you think it's development? Do you think it's hey, let's get a couple more real dogs in the portal? Because the O-line, and it's what's wild about that Penn game is that Sharon Moore is the O-line guy. if anybody, if there's one position group you'd think we'd have pretty well figured out, it's the O-line. What do you think what do you see there that might let's think positive, how do you think things could be improved?
You hit the hammer on the nail. And I'm just going to use my music analogy. I'm a specialist. I love lyricism. That's like me having an understudy and they're making the stuff that we're hearing today, which lacks lyricism. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. I'm just saying it lacks the substance of the lyricism, and that's my specialty. Like, like the offensive line. Like, come on. Yeah, you don't want your niche to be the downfall. I'll just say that, and I mean that from a professional aspect of rather it's music, rather it's film, whatever you're doing. If you're known for it, you don't want your part to be the weakest. So you hit it right there. That's something that needs to be improved because that team changes when that kid has a little bit more time to throw and do what he needs to do. But what I think with the offensive line, I think the play calling is centered around the offensive line, and obviously we've known the protection of Bryce, so that's how he wants to move. So now I shift into the gears of that's how we're playing. That is rhythm. Their play calling rhythm is off because Bryce started the game 4 for 5. He was doing pretty good. He was getting the ball off. Samaj got a nice break for a nice
Yep.
first down.
Yep.
Then Samaj gets knocked out of the game. And I know people look at Samaj sometimes like, oh, he doesn't really do that much or whatever. It's important to have guys out there that can, some people would say, twitch or move. That's somewhat athletic and not robotic because I have to respect that guy if I'm the defense. I have to respect that guy. And I'll tell you a quick story about a guy from South Carolina, and my boy Fuller. I think he ended up going to South Carolina University, but he was Full, Eric Fuller. Shout out if you're watching, Full. I know you're probably cheering for your Gamecocks, but Full, we had a route where I was doing a comeback and coaches were letting us do whatever. So our quarterback's like it was a backup quarterback in actually. And I told him, I said, hey, I'm gonna come in because basketball, you know what I'm saying? Basketball's my thing. So my legs and feet operate differently than someone who's in football. So I'm coming down, you're coming down, you're in your break, and I sold it beautifully. When I'm coming down in my break, I turn around like this. Full is 4.2 speed. Full's 4.2 speed. So I'm like 4.4 at the time. So I'm like, okay, I come back and then I faked him out like the wheel route, faked him out and went past him. You got to have guys that can move around because defenses respect that, and that's going to be really key for Bryce. So Samaj going out, and now we see Klein is a little bit more important than what we thought. And I mean, we just saw one game, but that lets you know Klein is opening up a lot of those other opportunities. And then you got the deep shots to McCulley, which is we need all that in one. We need the running game, Justice Hayes, their rhythm. And you see, when the rhythm is established, and I've heard I'm trying to think, Al Gorgeous was talking about this on with Sam Webb, and this is key. He was saying, because he has a background with Chip, he's saying the rhythm of the plays were off, and that is true because you want to have all those things clicking, and without the offensive line, that is not going to occur. But I'm just going to say, for a positive note for Michigan football, is that takes time, but that's fixable. It's not difficult. Guys are leaning over and out of position. You're 6 foot freaking 4, dude. I'm going around you. I'm not wasting time playing, and I didn't play offensive line, but I played defense before too. I'm not trying to battle with you. I'm going around you, or I'm doing whatever I need to go around you. And if you're already out of position, the ball snaps is quick, and that's an even quicker level.
Right.
D1 NCAA Michigan Power 4. That is an elite, quick toughness. I mean, goodness, dog, we were outmatched, and I don't know if they threw the towel into this one because they weren't ready. And that's literally what it was. Michigan was not ready from a player standpoint to a coaching standpoint. And it goes all the way down to the bottom of my last point, aggressiveness. uh, Dictate on your terms.
Right.
Make your opponent beat you. That's psychological in any sport on any level, especially the higher you get up. So I think Venables had a little juice in this on this one. We knew he was in fourth year. Maybe he studied a little bit more than what people give him credit for on tendencies and just knowing Sharon more because he coached him and just really being in tune with that game plan, helping that offensive coordinator create a offensive plan to really get that game going with, hey, we're just going to run the quarterback. And that's the position they were in. That matters because the aggressiveness and the lack of on our side showed dividends right there. You're going to run your quarterback 19 times. He didn't even get over 100 yards. So, like dude said with the pale quarterback, it wasn't an athletic, it wasn't a sexy, 19 for 100. It was, we got card for like, what was it, 70, 60? What did he get? Something
Yeah.
like that.
Something
I
like that.
mean, and you can win. We got guys out of place, not talking, communicating on defensive adjustments. What did we see 2023? Let's all go to 23 real quick. And I know I'm not criticizing these guys. I would never criticize a player because I played and I would envision myself playing against. I'm not going there. I'm going more psychologically. 23, what did we
Mm.
see? Every time they're adjusting, Mikey Sanders still. We see this right here.
Yep.
We see this. That's
Yep.
what we see with 23. We did not see that in this early in the season. It's early.
Yeah,
But
Mikey Sanders still, and also Rod Moore.
and we get Rod back.
As the quarterback, was called the quarterback of the defense. Now he's coming back, which is really exciting. Do you think that part of it was also? I think something that we forget is Brent Venables' back was kind of against the wall
That
here,
matters. That
and
matters.
so Sharon Moore is feeling a little comfy. Brent Venables was on a potential hot seat.
Did you see that handshake? Did you everybody? Did you see that handshake? Did you guys see that handshake? We're used to Ryan Day and all these other coaches. Did you guys, Brent Venables? I can't take this credit for this terminology that I'm about to disperse on you guys tonight. My best friend's mother, like a mother to me, always said this to us. Brent Venables was cheesing like a mule eating hot shit. And I mean, this guy, they did a double shake. They dapped up, separated, came back and dapped up.
I saw,
That was, hey man, I'm joking, guys. Don't take me seriously. Hey man, house don't gotta go on the market, man. You know what I'm saying? House don't gotta go on the market. You good? You good? We're gonna, do a little something after the game. I know Michigan fans, I'm Michigan fans, don't want to hear that. But these guys got a relationship. We got to be real about that at the same time. That handshake showed it all. Venables was ready to go. He was gonna do whatever it took. We're in the process, and this is another point that I want to bring up. We're seeing a new culture, NIL. If we don't know what's going on in there, they know. If they know they have weaknesses, they have to think the long game, and they got to protect that kid. They got to protect him, not just because, oh, he's the best player this year, because they put in a large investment toward this kid's future. That really matters. And yeah, I want to see them go out there and give it their all. But this is that elephant in the room that creeps in, that's sitting there, obviously, where we're all entertained, not thinking about this culture shift with this NIL and how college football that we see is changing in front of our eyes without us even really being conscious of it. I don't like to get lost in the fog. I always try to be aware of everything that's going on at once. And these guys have to protect this kid. They got to protect him. And speaking of Ohio State, if I'm Ohio State, I'm licking my chops right now. And I'm studying and I'm watching because Michigan's giving me a insider to how to because this is an everyday thing with Ohio State. They're watching like, okay, if they don't change right now, we're on it. Like they're working. They're working over there in Woody Hayes. They're working over there. So Michigan will improve because they have to improve, and because Bryce is projected to slow down in the next few weeks. It's just a shame that he got to go to Lincoln. Lincoln is a house of horrors for me growing up, because when I lived in Kansas, my dad was stationed in Fort Riley, Kansas. Kansas State University was the closest, Manhattan was the closest one to us. We would go watch their games. I watched the season Bill Snyder turned that team around, and when they went 9-2 and 1 and went to the Copper Bowl. Chad May, they had some talented guys on that team, real rowdy bunch. Got their tails kicked by Nebraska. Nebraska lost one game that year, and I think it was in a bowl game. They were, I've seen Brooke Behringer, Tommy Frazier. I've seen these guys up close. Cordell Stewart, we were the Boys and Girls Club. Michael Bishop used to play with K-State, used to come through all the time, dap us up and, give us, motivation. And we would get tickets and we would go there. We'd be right there. Colorado upset them that year. And it was a lot of things being said out there. And it was a fun thing to be a, 18-year-old kid seeing this trash talking going on. But Nebraska in Lincoln, that Nebraska's dead, but that environment is not.
Yeah,
I'm really concerned.
Lincoln gets rocking.
I'm concerned with that one, because I would have, and I don't want to doom and gloom. I would have wanted to coach that one. If it was me, I would have wanted to coach that one, because that's the, if the team's not ready, and this is what I've been indicating, what we've been saying, there's obviously some mishaps in early season. If we're going to point the emphasis to, hey, these deficiencies are coming in these areas, then we also have to look at the fact that you knew Oklahoma was going to be a problem for you. So why not? Hey, I'm not coaching that one. We're going to lose. We're seeing what they put on tape. So
Yeah,
I would focus on Lincoln.
push to just have the first two games be the
And
ones you're
focus
suspended.
on Lincoln, because that's Big Ten play. Big Ten play conference is, you got to win your conference. And we know Michigan is a university leader across the globe. That's why I love being a Michigan fan, living in other places, because I would bring that up to other fan bases. The team, win the Big Ten. That's all you hear as a Michigan fan. The team win the Big Ten, beat Ohio State. And we take pride in that. And that's what they have to put first on their goals. Win the Big Ten. Nebraska is a Big Ten game. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of things forming in front of our eyes, that I'm just going to take the approach of, hey, let these guys get their feet underneath their belt. By week 5 or week 6, I can call the season from there. I'll be able to call it from there. This is too early.
And I feel like we, on Saturday and through the week, I mean, we have been dishing out some criticism, and I think it's all deserved.
Yeah.
But on the positive front, that was a non-conference game, and Michigan is still undefeated in conference play, and Nebraska will be the first test. But like, Michigan has every single goal technically still ahead,
and
so
we have to. Being a former player, I do not want to put my tape out, Central Michigan, because people are downgrading that. That is, as a player, I want these guys, man, I want to get 5 tackles a day. Somebody's over there saying, man, I need to get 3 catches. Somebody's over here saying, man, I'm going to get an interception today. That perception is gone if we just look at this as just some game.
right.
These guys are trying to go out there and compete, and they're doing it at a high, and they're being demanded by doing it at a high level, and they care about their fan base. They want to come out there and play well for the Michigan fan base. So Central Michigan is an important game. That's an important game, because things are going to start slowing down for Bryce after having I call Norman the buzzsaw. Bryce is good. He was not rattled, but he was not seeing things. So this is going to slow down. He's going to get some momentum, and then Nebraska, sink or swim, man. That's where it's at. But You start the trajectory towards victory in Nebraska, and that starts with a good performance against Central Michigan in Michigan style football, all phases of the game, special teams, defense, offense,
Yeah, I want
whatever.
to see
When you're beat
domination in
your,
the trenches.
there you go, dominate. In our running game, this is really where we need to point everything at. And I know that goes to the running game is difficult because if your line's bad, you're always going to get criticism for it. And you can't say, well, damn, I can't get through because my line. You can't say that, to the public and interviews. You can't say that. But trust me, that's being said. These guys are professional guys or whatnot. I'm talking pillow talk, mama, dads, uncles. It's being said. Trust me,
Sure.
it's being said. People are talking, and these guys want to come out here and play. So that offensive line, they're getting looked at right now, and or being spoken about behind closed doors privately. That hey, man, we got to pick it up. We got to pick it up mentally. Not they can handle it physically. They're mentally off.
Yeah, luckily there's a nice game coming up Saturday to mentally get right. Central Michigan, and hopefully it's that 40-some point victory that people want. But even look, even if it's like 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, I mean, just have a get right game. It's so needed before Nebraska.
Oh my. I'm John. I think you said you were worried about. You didn't say you were worried about it. Let me not put that energy out there.
Yeah.
You just know that it's a challenge. It's a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. We're not just penciled in to win down there. Things have to be done. We have to see these guys doing this, and I'll know right away. Okay, they came to play. We didn't see that in OU, so that's why I'm like, whatever for a reason. We're not going to get too high. We're not going to get too low. We got Central Michigan. We need to focus up for Nebraska, and these guys see everything, man. They see the tweets. They see all this stuff. Give these guys a little bit of comfort, man. I mean, good criticism out there, people, but these guys are seeing this stuff, man. Let's lift these cats up. Yeah, point out the deficiencies. They got to do better, but that's behind them. Give them a chance to go out there and redeem themselves, and then we go from there. Because there is a standard at Michigan, and if you're going to be, Michigan's always been known for what? Games against Ohio State. What is Ohio State always known for? Talent. Woody Hayes, a long tradition. If you're at Michigan, you're beating the best. If you're not the best. So if your standard is that high, then that comes in when you step on the mat and walk into the building. So we don't even need to debate over it. We don't even need to discuss that. These guys are big boys. So if they're not performing well, hey, it's whatever.
Next
People say
man
what
up.
they need to say. It comes with the territory. You can't protect someone for saying something, and I don't like when people say, "Oh, these guys haven't played" or whatever. People see with their eyes and they know what they see. And and even if I didn't play, I've been a Michigan fan long enough to see. And you guys that haven't played can see with your own eyes. You may not know disguises and coverages and adjustments, but you can see effort. You can see when another team doesn't come to play, and you can see when another team does. You can see athletes. You can see people that athletes play. We spoke on that before I go. Like I said, with the basketball legs, athletes, when you throw the ball to an athletic receiver, they can jump and do the Roman Wilson, where he catches it in the air and he's already doing his move before he lands, so he can juke the defender from Alabama, and that's how he got that run. That's an athletic play. That's why he's with the Steelers right now. Athletic. They catch the ball out of the air. BRYCE can throw it a certain way. They can catch it and move. That's athleticism. Then there's other receivers who have to be thrown to the ball, or it has to be pinpoint on them. They're not really mobile like that. And I don't see that athlete. I don't see that athletic receiver. And BRYCE, if you watch around the country, there's tons of athletic receivers playing. There is a difference. Guys, tone down on this kid. That we don't have that. They have to play with what they got, and they got to scheme it open. That takes time. That's the realism of it. It takes time to scheme open. That's why we need to get this guy some athletes. So his era can be higher because he's got athletic guys that, hey, one play, boom, it's a 75-yard like Justice Hayes. So line improvement is what I'm watching, and tight end production. I want to see how big of a difference Klein is when he's in the game and his blocking. Not just his pass ability, his blocking. I want to watch that running game, and also that Justice Hayes pickup block was beautiful. That pickup, people say BRYCE with the fake, that Justice Hayes pickup block was beautiful because that's a play that's installed at day one. It's like a bailout call. When you can't pick up a blitz, or when the blitz is coming, no matter who it is, that's just imagine as a running back, they were teaching this technique. You go if you can run and pick them up, or when it was legal, or that was like 20 something years ago when I played, you go low. You get the guy, you don't let them. That's when we used to see guys going low and they flipping over trying to get after the quarterback. If you're the last line of defense, you got to take the guy out. If he's bigger than you, you go low because you got to chop the tree. So Justice Hayes on the communications, picking up blocks. Klein can help out on blocks. I want to watch that, and I'm watching the offensive line. Everything else, I'm expecting them to play average to better than what they've done. But I'm watching those areas, and that will tell me how we're going to go into Nebraska.
Yeah, I think it's well said, and I think the trench play should improve substantially given the opponent's about to, right? All respect to Adam Jackson, who was on the show Tuesday night from Central Michigan University. But yeah, the trench play should be a little better for us, I think, Saturday, knock on wood. So,
And Barham's
yeah,
back
he'll
for
be
the
back the
whole
whole
game.
game. That'll be nice. Any final thoughts, Penn game?
Just go blue to everyone. Our schedule is getting a little bit better, guys. Our schedule's getting better. BRYCE is going to have some development games, which we should have had them at the beginning of the season, but that's another thing for another day. I don't know why they would approve that schedule with this guy putting all that money into it. I know it was done beforehand, but still, just be ready. Be ready for, and I think we're ready for Chip. I don't think Chip's getting a fair deal here as
No,
far as what some people are saying about him. But
I agree with
hey,
you, 100%.
we need to, maybe we get our opportunity, and that's my last point. Maybe we get our opportunity to see how flexible Chip can be now that he can kind of do his thing, because I do believe styles make fights, and I do believe that when something's not working, that's a good time to lose a football team, guys. That's a good time to lose a football team if they're not mentally tough. So Chip, this is going to be important to see how he calls this game. I really am interested to see how that mix goes, or how, hey, we're going to go a little bit more this way. That will tell me if that Oklahoma thing was deeper than what we really thought, and they really are like, yeah, we really do need to address that. We'll see that right away if that was really, really a thing where they just totally got dominated and they have to go away from what they were originally doing. But we'll see a balance, hopefully, and go blue, John. You're my boy, man. Good Mike, TJ, peace to you, man, and go blue to everybody tonight.
Go blue, Penn game.
Shout
Thanks for
out
calling
Dusty
in.
May. Shout out
There you
Dusty
go.
May.
Shout out. There you go. All right. See you next time. Okay, that was Penn game. Great call for Penn. We have had some really, really good calls today. So thank you all for that. And for being here with me. I decided I was going to jump on here. TJ not feeling well. And I really want to thank everybody for stepping up financially, stepping up with excellent calls. And we still have, folks, one more hour because we have hit our third hour. Adam Lamparello with the 25 says, I'm calling it right now. Michigan beats Ohio State 27-24 in November. Folks, this would be amazing because Ohio State's been talking a lot of shit after that Oklahoma win, it would be very satisfying to go 5 in a row and beat Ohio State 27-24. I also want to remind people that Adam predicted Michigan to win last year. Adam Lamparello predicted a Michigan victory when a lot of people, myself included, was not sure at all. And I'm pretty sure TJ and I both picked Ohio State to win. So Adam picked Michigan. He was right then. I really hope he's right again. And look, it's possible because third base Ryan Day still has that Michigan stigma there. One more super chat, and then we'll get to our next call. Michigander, who's our mod, YouTube member, supporter. Next 2 games will prove if offense was on chip or more. So here's what I would say. This Saturday is still Sharon Moore helping with preparation. Will Chip feel a little bit more free to do what he wants? I'm sure. But I also think that they'll probably have decided on a path. We're really going to see against Nebraska what happens when Sharon isn't there. That's the game we're really going to see. It's going to be an away game, and Chip Lindsey, let's see if he opens it up. I'm really curious. Okay, folks, next up on Michigan Call-In Show Live, sponsored by Win Agency, we've got West Quad, or as I like to say, West Quad, Best Quad, in the house. How you doing? West Quad, you there? West Squad, looks like I can't hear you right now, but we will try you back in a little bit. Coming up next, we've got Coach Moore. Coach Moore in the house. How you doing?
How you doing, John? Thanks for having me back. I'm glad that because last week when I was on the show, I was telling guys we need to run to that heavy offensive lineman formation. And guys said, "Oh no, we don't need to do that." I want to give guys a little bit about me first and foremost. I was a former NPA GAA Association. That's the post grad level, and we were the 21 national champions. Ever since then, IMG Academy that you know that produced so many athletes, they've won it every year since. So that's a little bit about me, and I coach the offensive line. So with that being said, I like the formations, like some of the 3-man stacks that they have, but I don't want to see bubble screens out of those 3-man stacks.
No.
And I don't want to see Bredesen out there on the 3-man stack.
No, it was weird how they used Bredesen at times.
And guard, center, guard. We got to be better in there. For a young quarterback, getting pressure up the middle that's a young quarterback's worst nightmare. So
yeah, shocking that left tackle was probably the best line position on Saturday. Evan Link did okay.
And we got
I think it was the middle, like you said, the interior. Crippen was on his ass. El Hadi was taking shots. It wasn't looking good. And that's not good when you're playing against Brent Venable's year 4 defense.
Yeah, we got to help out the interior of that line too. I think we could have helped them with some counter and some traps because they was rushing up the field. I didn't see no traps. So you help that interior out by giving them some traps, giving them some counters. So I didn't see that. So
yeah,
and they were playing
I'm
too
surprised
high.
there weren't more traps. I'm surprised. Like some stuff I've seen in the past, like the pin and pulls and stuff that were successful in the past. Like I don't know kind of why they picked the selection that they did. Because
I believe it's because of Ofobi. They tried it with him and he was not able to get up to the blocker. He couldn't get up to the backer. So I saw a couple of times where they tried to do it. He just whiffed on the block. So I just don't know if he's the guy to be doing the pin. You know what I mean? So I think that was part of they plan. So um, just more heavy offensive line and that extra offensive lineman in there, and the RPOs. Give him an escort. Just like to me, I thought when I watched the San Diego Chargers play Kansas City, I thought Sharon Moore would copy and paste, just like Herbert. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a copy and paste with Underwood. They go call the same kind of game plan because Harbaugh went away what he usually does and broke all his tendencies. So, but if you got a Hall of Fame quarterback and if you got a Heisman type quarterback, you got to get him there, like Harbaugh said. So you have to help him out, and you can help your quarterback giving you 6 runs with an escort, giving you some naked boots. I didn't see no naked. I didn't see any of that. No boot action at all. So you boot him
maybe
in.
a couple of I saw a couple of play action rollouts. Nothing. And I will say one of those was 1 or 2 of those was successful when they moved the line, when they moved the pocket, because I really do think that's the solution when the line's failing. Is you've got to move it. You got to change the game. You got to move the game because your line isn't doing what it needs to do.
And the seams was open all game long. The seams right up the middle of the field. So I get you trying to get and attack the outside of the field, but I feel that their corners hold up pretty good on the outside. But that seam, it was plays there to be had. So, and I feel like we did not take the advantage of the seam. So, and the one player with Marshall, I think it's about offensive line timing with Bryce. Yeah, he missed some. I think he did pretty good. He missed some plays, but we got to give him more time and help him out. And guys got to help him out by getting open and showing their numbers and giving him a target to hit.
I will say I would bet anything that was a Marlon Klein concept. Now, I don't know how that would have impacted because of how bad the line was playing, but I would bet a lot that was not supposed to be a Zach Marshall. And and Zach Marshall was one of my first interviews that I ever did years ago. Was one of the first ones, and great guy. But he's been mostly used as a blocking tight end, right? And so Marlon Klein and now Hogan Hansen's back, but he's just back, so I don't know how much he's been in the install, right? So Marlon Klein, that is probably a factor of why things felt a little off too. Marlon Klein, the safety blanket's gone.
And I'm gonna say our season gonna go as far as that nickel position in the center. When we were at our best, the center and that nickel with Summerstill, that's when we came into our own. So we got to get that nickel position down on defense in the center. It has to be. Now I don't know if either one of those guys is the answer. We got to get better play, or we're gonna have to find other answers. And we've been told all season that everybody's trained at the nickel. I like the kid from Arkansas, but I would like to see somebody else get a shot at that nickel.
I like Metcalf. I will say I like Metcalf. I think he needs another shot. I do think that. But keep in mind who originated at nickel before he moved. A guy named Rod Moore. Guess who's coming back next week? Rod Moore.
Yeah. So that's good. If we can get that center and that nickel down, I think we're gonna be all right, guys. And that's just because the team on the offense, that center makes us go. Going back to all them hardball teams, and that nickel is crucial. So to our defense. And we got to tackle better. So but I think those things will be fixed. And bring Barham on third down. Bring him up. Bring him off line him up at end. If I'm a quarterback and I look over there and I see him at end, I'm finna audible and shift the tight end over there to give my tackle some help.
Something.
Or it's gonna be a long game.
When he came in, even at his position, when he came into the game in the third quarter, they had to do some adjusting, and they had to factor that entire side of the field. It completely changed the dynamic, at least for a little while, when he came back.
I think it's gonna show when Sharon's gone that we go see Chip and Wink do what they're supposed to do, because I believe Hoji's gonna be with Shimon. Just that he's not gonna have his imprint. He's just gonna be a game manager and try to manage the time in, the timeout aspects of the game and calls and so forth. You know, the little now. I think he gonna let the coordinators do what they need to do. Um, and I believe they was playing a little bit handicapped because of Coach Moore trying to play a close strategy, and we just wasn't. They were like when the caller said, we didn't adjust. And at halftime, I thought we would see better adjustments. That's what I was so disappointed, because
Me
I
too.
feel like after the halftime adjustments wasn't there. So
nope. Let's just keep running inside zone. We'll go third and 6 runs, and
and somebody said that, like, I like Samaj, but we got to put Samaj. Samaj, he's the type of player you give a slant, like you said. And you let him. He can take a slant, and he can give you some problems. We got to put him in position. Even McCauley, he's a big body receiver. I'm running some outs to the sideline and let him use his body. I believe Bryce can make that throw if he says who he says he is. So
well, I think you're going to see Samaj Morgan continue to be utilized in that scripted first drive, because that scripted first drive, like, he's really good at those gadget, those slot plays that they may not get you 30 yards, but they get you 5. They get it closer, so you have a closer third down at least.
yeah,
And so I think he's going to continue to be utilized in that way, in the scripted drives, and hopefully he's okay. I know he got rocked in the last game. Hopefully he comes back and is good to go for Central.
yeah. Just give Bryce about 5, and I ain't with giving him QB power runs, because we need him. But it's a balance that we can do. You put him 5, 6 runs in there, and make sure you give him an escort, or RPO, where he can get to that sideline. He got a check down, or he's got a Bredesen in front of him blocking, but he got an escort out there leading the way with him. But we got design a couple plays that put him in and put him on the edge, and I believe that's gonna open up things for us too, because and we got to condense. We was giving him a lot of formations that was condensed, so even if we got to get him comfortable. Even in his high school program, he ran a spread, and he's the type of quarterback that even with Stallions to tell you that it was easy for him to read the field in that spread. So once that spread, it's a lot easy for a young quarterback to read that defense. Then versus, I know we want to run 12 personnel and run that, but that condenses the defense, and it's hard.
True.
You can disguise your defense with those 11 and those 12 personnels. You feel me? I believe we should do those in the goal line. If
I
But I
agree.
wouldn't do it. But from in that 30, in the middle of the field, I would not run that. I would give him a spread. So then the defense, if you go blitz, he can more likely see where the blitz is coming from. So we got to do a better job of helping him out.
Yeah,
And helping the line out. If we spread
I'm
them out,
with
that's
you.
gonna help our line out.
I'm with you there. The insistence to keep running 12 personnel in every scenario, it doesn't make sense when they're stacking the box like that. I love doing it, but you gotta mix it up. And use it, like you said, in the goal line, or even like the fourth and very short. I'm okay with it in a situation where you need half a yard and you're running a quarterback sneak, or you're running a full Max Bredesen or type I formation up there. Like there I don't. It doesn't always need to be goal line for me, but like that's got to be like it can't be when they know when someone like Venables you're going against someone like Venables, and he knows what you're going to do. He knows you're going to try to run it. He knows you're going to try the short game and the quick outs and the tight ends and try to get your 2-yarder here, your 3-yarder there, and a lot of horizontal. Like Venables knew that we were going to try all that. So that's how he schemed the whole game. And so you gotta answer by spreading it. And I think we'll see that more from Chip, maybe a little bit more Saturday, and I think even more so potentially against Nebraska, because then he's really going to be on his own when it comes to game planning. Sharon Moore won't be there the whole week in the run-up, but I guess we'll see. Coach Moore, we got a couple callers ahead here. Any final thoughts for us? Great call.
Just one more thing. Johnny O hit on this after rewatching the game. We need to do some more twist that defensive line. That's the only way we're gonna get pressure. And I believe they didn't twist and stunt because they was worrying about lane integrity with Mateer. I don't believe Rayola's quite the athlete, so I believe we will see a lot of more twists and stunts with the D line going forward. But the Michigan State and a couple other teams, Maryland and Washington, I believe, we're gonna have to get a mix of stunting and twisting that line, and you're gonna have to trust the guys that are able to execute those stunts. Because if we sit back like that, we see what's going to happen.
Yep. All right, Coach Moore. Well, great to have you back, and hopefully we'll see you Saturday.
Oh, yes. And always go blue, win, lose, or draw. And thank y'all for having me. And see you next time.
Thanks for being here. All right, go blue.
Go blue.
That was Coach Moore, everybody. Folks, the calls tonight have been on point. I love it. Coming up next, let's see if we got any super chats here. So Michigander next. I think we already hit that one. Thank you, Michigander. Let's go to Dom. Dom, go blue.
How's it going, John?
It's going all right. Looking forward to washing the taste of this out on Saturday and having a nice game to get right.
It's been an interesting week of, calls and such. And, the other two gentlemen there you had there, Coach Moore, and then the other guys, he played. I forget his name. Penn Game. Yes. To have that player introspection, it really helps to understand what's going on, some of the things you just can't see and decipher. And that's really appreciated to get that.
It was really cool.
That take on it, if you will. And having said that, the strength and conditioning coach from Michigan State University that was hired by Nick Saban and then stayed and coached under D'Antonio, his name was Kenny Manning. Kenny Manning's from my hometown of Steubenville, Ohio.
Okay.
He was my high school coach. He didn't go to LSU with Nick Saban because he didn't want his kids to go to school down there. He wanted to stay in Michigan. He wanted to stay in East Lansing because the terrain, the population's very akin to Steubenville, Ohio. Kenny Manning, go do some reading on him. Phenomenal man, a man's man. What I'm getting to is I watched an interview with Kipper. Am I saying that correctly? Crippen,
the center.
Yeah. I seen an interview with him. That's not a physique of an offensive lineman for the University of Michigan. So, no traps, no chest, no biceps, no forearms, and a big belly. No wonder he was on his back. And the people that are coming here, and we need to do this with BRYCE, we need to do that with BRYCE, and we need to spread and smash. Nothing's going to happen unless we have more offensive linemen than they have defensive linemen, period. Because the guys, they're not mentally strong. They're not physically strong. Look at the number of injuries we've had. Not just El Hadi. There's been a lot of dings, along the way. And the loss of Ben Herbert is coming through again. And it's like, well, what happened, John? What happened? We had this all last year. We get BRYCE commits, we get Northwestern game, we get Ohio State, we get Bama, and it's like it's back, right? And then we get this, fall camp, and Wink's like, well, you lose 3 players in the first round of the NFL draft. You gotta rebuild. You got to break it down and start all over and rebuild. It's like, what the hell are you talking about, Wink? Your starting team played Alabama. Well, am I missing something here? Because the guys that played against Alabama are the ones that should be playing now, right, Wink? Not 31 substitutions against New Mexico. And how many substitutions last week? I mean, Trey Williams started the game. He gets a little winded. He calls himself out of the game. I don't see him the rest of the game. Rashad Benny's not in until the fourth quarter. Look, John, would you agree when you're in the trenches, it's a game within a game?
Right.
And that is your will, your determination, your physical condition, and your mental toughness. And through the game, you are learning what the man in front of you's tendencies are, what he's doing, what he's thinking, whether you could get into his head. Okay? It's a game within a game. That cannot flourish when you're rotating defensive tackles every 3 plays.
Yeah.
Pick 2 or 3. Pick 2 starters, pick 2 backups, and run with those mules.
Run with it. I was okay with it against New Mexico.
Yes, same here.
I was okay with seeing what you have against live fire against New Mexico. I'm not as okay with it when you're playing an opponent like Oklahoma. Your point about Tress is interesting because you pointed out that you had hope, and I had hope when I saw the improvement of the team physically against Ohio, starting with Northwestern, Ohio State, and then Alabama and the Rely Quest. I was like, okay, well, some of this has to be Justin Tress and the work that they've been putting in throughout the season. Yeah. So that boggles my mind a little bit because now, as you said, it seems to be going the other direction with injuries and things like that. And I don't really know what the shift is. I know that Ben Herbert was one of three main contacts that a player would have every day. So Ben Herbert is one of 3 coaches that they're talking to every single day, no matter what. And so Tress is, I guess, in that role now. But I was talking with Zach Marshall about that a few years ago, like how important Ben Herbert is. It's kind of like he's your, not personal trainer, but basically accountability person, right, throughout the entirety of these things. So with Justin Tress, I don't know if he's maintained the same system, if he's done things differently. We don't see inside. And of course, they're not going to say, oh, it slipped. They're not going to say that. But maybe it has a little bit if given what you've been saying.
And I'm biased about Ben Herbert. He's a Pittsburgh guy.
Yeah.
My hometown of Steubenville is 30 minutes outside of Pittsburgh. So I'm biased there, obviously. But he's a Pittsburgh guy. He was at Wisconsin. And if you go look at some of the old YouTube videos of him training the championship team, he's telling the guys in the weight room, he's torturing these guys, pushing them to their limit. And he's telling them, it's your burden to bear. You accepted the burden when you came here. So pretty much no belly aching, and you're going to do the work. And you're going to keep doing it until I say you've completed the task. And you brought up a good point, John. The strength and conditioning coach is a player, and I'm sure the other gentlemen who were here previously that played, and anyone else. That strength and conditioning coach, that's the guy you really don't want to let down. Because when you let down your strength and conditioning coach, you're not letting the team down. You're letting yourself down because you're not putting in the effort that you need to put in to get where you need to be. So by letting your strength and conditioning coach down, you're letting yourself down. And that is a big thing that comes into play. And quite frankly, Crippen, you better lay off the Krispy Kreme donuts, man.
Yeah.
Or
they might give Jake Garnera a look.
Yeah, you know what? At this point, it doesn't matter. But John, you said it earlier. It ain't going anywhere without an offensive line. We all know that. And the problem is, we know what it could be, but it ain't going to get there without the offensive line. The best thing Michigan could do, I said it on Johnny's show Sunday, is just let's narrow the playbook down and let's get really good at these plays. Instead of, let's go through 500 pages. Let's just dummy that down and let's attack the weakness of our opponent. The game plan last week, it was all over the place. Supposedly Oklahoma wasn't good against the run. Illinois State ran the ball quite effectively against them. And Oklahoma couldn't run the ball. Well, I don't know. I mean, you want to run. I don't want to get into the game. It's been discussed ad nauseum, but you're not going to, if they got 7, 8 defensive players, you're not going to block them with 5.
Right.
So let's just, if they could just narrow it down instead of spread, smash, all this other stuff, and let's just get really good at 24 plays. I mean, how many do you call in the course of a game? 60? Let's get good at 36 plays, 24 plays, and let's get really good at them.
Seems to be that's what Harbaugh did.
Yeah, and player leadership, it's lacking. Hopefully that changes with more coming back. I think that's a big component because El Hadi's not a leader. He's a senior, 5th-year senior. He's not Zach Center, is he?
No.
And, and I'll get out of the way. I know you have other people waiting, and I want to be mindful. Just looking at my notes here. The defensive tackle rotation. Thank you. This whole thing with Venerables and Moore and this relationship, and I could stay,
Sure.
and I don't buy any of that, because in the background we have Mr. Larry Ellison, whose wife graduated in 2012 from Michigan.
Yeah.
And all it's going to be is to get that woman good and pissed, and she's going to pick up the phone and she's going to be like, fire Sharon. It isn't like, can he handle it, this or that, or do they have him on a leash, or is this one on a leash, or are they holding back, or they tell him? No, it's the pressure of the phone call, because you said it, John. It's a different game now. It's not when the Big Ten beat Ohio. It's professional football now, thanks to the NIL.
Yeah.
So I think that's a little bit weighing on more. But Venerables, it's like they had an answer for everything in the last 6 minutes of that game. He had Oklahoma in the power I, running the ball right up Michigan's right up the gut of Michigan's defense for the last 6-7 minutes of the fourth quarter. I was like, it was humiliating to watch. And I said, John, honestly, I can't remember the last time I had to really force myself to stay tuned through the end of a Michigan game. Win, lose, blowout, since like the Rodriguez years. That was like revisiting the Rodriguez years, Hoke years, Harbaugh's difficult years. I mean,
It's kind of like it kind of reminded me of when they tried to blend Rich Rod and when they tried to blend spread and pro when Brady Hoke was coming in. It was kind of that vibe. They're or like when Josh Gaddis came in, they're trying to blend two styles, and you at some point you got to go with one. And with the O-line not performing to the level that you need to just smash, like I would love to go back to 22, 23, but the lines are just not there right now. And I think you got to give Chip Lindsey, and Chip Lindsey's going to have his opportunity. Sharon Moore's out starting Saturday. So Chip Lindsey's going to have his opportunity to call his offense. We're going to see how it goes.
I think,
and we'll go from there.
I think Poji's kind of like, you have that older sibling that's kind of like off to college, and you're in high school and you've been a real pain in the ass to mom and dad. and and then big brother, big sister, comes home from college, and you get straightened out. And maybe we'll have some sort of correction like that from Poggi to kind of straighten things out. But offensive line coming up: Malachi Lee, Tristan Dare, Babaloa, Haywood, Louis Esposito, Bear McWhorter. I might be saying his name wrong.
McWhorter, yeah, we had him on.
McWhorter, and then a Marty Walbridge, who is 6'8", 290 pounds.
Yeah, he's a man mountain. Yeah.
We have a stellar offensive line. This offensive line and the size of these guys, this isn't spread offense. This isn't spread offense. This is control the game, and then you use play action.
Play action, yeah.
The way it should be done, the way Michigan football does. This, we're going to run goal line, and then the next play, we're going to run 5 wide receivers. It's just no continuity, no rhythm. And again, just dumb it down and narrow it down. And thank you for having me very much. I mean, you guys do a great show. Love you guys. Hope TJ feels better. Last thing, I got to throw something to Ohio State, okay?
Sure.
Or it ain't me, okay? It's just like easy, cha-cha. Just easy, Ohio State. You beat a Texas team who had 4 turnovers. We really don't know how good Texas is, right?
No.
Your quarterback threw for 127 yards, okay?
Yeah,
Oh,
Arch's throwing motion is it looks a little off.
Off, yes. And then you beat up on Grambling, and I told Doreen, I'm like, did they pay you to go into that game? Because an inter-squad scrimmage between Ohio State would have been more entertaining of a game than the game against Grambling. Now this week we got the Bobcats. Okay.
Hey,
more
out.
flag waving about those Buckeyes, right? We have the bye week, and then at Washington. In Washington, they're averaging 288 yards a game running the ball. We'll see, but this, and we're going to repeat and this and that. It's like, it's a long season, folks. It's a long season. You won a national title. We don't know how good you are. Talk to me after the Washington game, and then you come back. You got Minnesota, at Wisconsin, at Illinois, bye week, and then Mr. Knowles comes to town.
Yep.
Look at that smile.
And he's gonna be motivated.
Yeah. Those assholes. That's what they are. They kept that man from participating in their national championship parade. Absolutely
Ridiculous.
No class. So anyway,
No.
thank you very much for having me. I'm just like everyone else. I'm scratching my head, and I expected more. And I was like, oh, they'll do this, they'll do that. And then I saw that interview with Crimpin today. And I'm like, no wonder. It's a 2-minute interview on YouTube. I'm like, no wonder the offensive line.
Yeah, Tress. Yeah, and I don't want to go too hard at the players. I've tried to have a philosophy on this show of going after the adults and going after the coaching staff when things like this happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they're getting NIL now. The players are getting NIL now, but at the same time, it's like, I don't think it's just Crippen either. I think there's a systematic issue with players going down with injury and other. So I think your point about Tress is well taken, that there may be a downgrade there.
Yeah. You didn't want to piss off
see.
Kenny Manning at Catholic Central in Steubenville. You didn't want to piss off Kenny Manning. You just didn't want to do that. And hey, everybody thinks I'm crazy with this Ohio State stuff. Chase Herbstreit has to go. He's not going to play, right? And if he wants an education, go to Northwestern, go to an Ivy League school, go to Penn State, go to Oregon. Maybe he'll start at quarterback at UCLA. Why Michigan? I don't know. Oklahoma really looked dialed in for that game, if you ask me.
Oh,
I think the guy's a
oh,
player. I
you
think
think Chase Herbstreit's feeding the opponent stuff?
why is he
Okay.
there? I mean, they can't
Okay.
use the sign stealing, right? They can't steal signs. They can't use the catapult video anymore, right? And then you know everything behind the scenes here, John. What's happened the last 3-4 years? They've been cheating. It's like, oh, Michigan's the cheaters, Michigan, and that's all going to come out, right? Because Michigan's the cheaters. How else are they going to cheat?
You know, Chris Drew's going to clip this now. I'm going to get yeah.
I mean, people could think I'm crazy, but somebody give me a valid reason why he's at Michigan where he could go and further himself better elsewhere, because he's not going to play.
Yeah. I mean, the answer is Ohio State didn't offer him a Scully. Michigan offered him a Scully.
Why offer him a Scully? I mean, how much NIL money is OSU giving him to be here? You know, I mean, go, come out here, man. Go to UCLA. You'll start. You know.
Yeah, he probably would. All right, Dom. Well, listen, we appreciate you, and we'll see you Saturday.
Go Blue. I mean, let's get healthy.
Absolutely. All right, night. All right, that was Dom, a friend of the program. You can catch him. He's a moderator over at Maze Madman as well. So check that out. We have 30 minutes to go on our call-in show presented by the Win Agency. We do have Keith Rebar next. He is as we know, the charter member of the Connor Stallions Espionage. And Keith, how you feeling after Saturday? Do you have some hope that the Central Michigan Chippewas will help us get right, or where are you at with everything?
Saturday went just like I feared for the whole year. We're a very inexperienced team, especially at quarterback, and we're going into a hornet's nest of a team that's very hungry, that beat Alabama worse than we did last year. And you know, I'm a one game at a time guy. And I said all year, it's hard for me to see past that Oklahoma game.
Yeah.
I can see past New Mexico. I think we should win that pretty easy. But
right.
I don't see how we're going to beat Oklahoma. And I was disappointed in Michigan's level of effort. It looked to me like Oklahoma was playing harder, playing faster. They were like running downhill where we were running on level ground. And it just looked like a different game. I don't know where we fell down, but I didn't see the Michigan level of effort that we've seen over the last 3 years.
Right. You're right. And I thought that was from the head coach on down. I mean, the some of the decisions, you can tell his hands were all over the offense, because you could tell that they're trying to blend these two styles. But everybody, I think the one thing I started to get hyped towards the end. I was watching Oklahoma. I saw how little they were running, and I thought, okay, well, if we can keep their offense one-dimensional, like we did with Washington in 23, there's a path. But the problem is the trench play was so horrid that nobody could get it. Nobody could do anything. And then on top of that, you're trying to play some 12 personnel and 13 personnel, some spread, and there's just this inconsistency. And so what I want to see, Keith, is I want to see what happens when Chip Lindsey gets to run the offense the way he wants to run it. And that may happen more in Nebraska, because Schroen's still with the team right now till Saturday. but I don't know what are some things you're going to be looking for? As I want to be positive now a little bit. I want to be a little positive. I've been very critical for almost a week now, and what do we want to see improve? What do we want to see where if we see improvement Saturday, okay, now we have a little bit of hope that that this could turn around.
All right. Well, you want to talk positive? You're talking to the right guy. Is the biggest area we need to improve in is we lost 90% of the discipline in our rush lane discipline that we had for the last 3 years, including last year. Now, rush lane discipline is very easy to maintain when you have Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant in the middle,
Yeah.
where they hold those corners of the pocket, and you just have to control a couple more corners of the pocket. And Oklahoma was the only other team in the top 8 that matched our rush lane discipline from last year. I saw a video in it. And Oklahoma had all of their rush lane discipline against us. And that's why we saw always Underwood getting crushed inside the pocket, nowhere to go, and throwing the ball and it getting tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And that's going to be easy to do against Central because Rayshon Benny and Trey Williams will be able to do that easily against
Whoever.
Central Michigan. But against Nebraska is going to be another challenge. Not as big as challenge as Oklahoma, because Nebraska looks very much looks a lot like who they were last year.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of I feel good, having talked to Adam Jacksa on Tuesday night, and I encourage everyone to go and check out that breakdown we did with him. But there are some returning starters on their defense, but I have a feeling this will be one of those good old fashioned curb stomp type situations. And Michigan's going to come out. What I really hope to see, Keith, and I'm going to keep this real simple. I just want to see them come out pissed. I want to see them come out with fire, with energy. Michigan against the world. How did Michigan win the national championship? Because they had the biggest chip on their shoulder, and they were Michigan against the world the whole way, and they stuck together as a team, and they went undefeated. And that's the mentality I need to see here. I need to see that fire and that passion. You know who I saw it from? Bryce Underwood, right? And Justice Haynes. I saw it from those two. I need to see it from everybody else.
Yes, but Bryce looked like a freshman quarterback on Saturday.
Sure.
He was not reading the field as well as John Mateer was. John Mateer looked like a grad quarterback playing a freshman quarterback. And I have one big criticism for McCulley, and there was one play where he was alone on the left side. I don't know if it was the strong side or not, but he was alone, and Bryce Rudd, he had a one-on-one with a cornerback back there.
Mm-hmm.
And the cornerback was out about 15 yards to take the top off McCulley running against him. And Bryce looked at it and said, I want that matchup. And he looked over there, and when you saw the play, Donovan McCulley was jogging towards the defensive back. Now, if you're trying to run a route for your quarterback and you're jogging, you're not going to do anything to get that defensive back to jump one way or the other. And it looked like he wanted McCulley to run a quick a 10-yard post for 5 yards and then cut back to the corner because he threw it to the corner. And that's a standard route for big time football, even in the pros. They'll run it 10 and they'll get the defensive back moving towards the post, and then they can cut back towards the flag and get a fade in the corner of the end zone there. And Donovan McCulley, for whatever reason, I don't know what was going through his mind. Maybe he was totally confused, and but it looks like he didn't expect the ball. And every receiver on Michigan and Chip Lindsey's offense should expect the ball on every play, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just tough because it's like, what? I mean, I understand that Bryce is a freshman. I understand that McCauley could have done a better job at times. I will say also that McCauley, I said, hey, can a wide receiver beat the tight ends? Well, Donovan McCauley did step up and have more receiving yards than the tight ends. Okay, Marlon Klein was, of course, out, so that definitely impacted it. But he had some good moments. He also had some questionable moments. I also don't know why they ran a reverse with him. That was weird. Like, who was supposed to be in that concept? I don't think it was supposed to be McCauley. If it was, sheesh.
Yeah. On another play, Bryce, he threw it to, and I think this was part of the altercation they had on the sidelines. The rush was coming heavy, and Bredesen and Haynes ran out the right side of the pocket, and Bryce turned and threw it to, I believe it was McCauley. It might have been another receiver that was in double coverage. And if he would have thrown the ball to Haynes would have probably gotten 10 yards easy on it. And he had Bradenson in front of him.
Yeah.
And I think probably what happened on the sideline was Haynes went up to Underwood and said, hey, Bryce, next time look for us on that play. We were out there all alone. And
right.
And Bryce
caused some of those arguments. Yeah.
Yeah, and he could have said it very nicely to him, but Bryce looked like he was overwhelmed by everything that was happening in that game. Venables and his defensive coordinator really did a good job of putting a lot of pressure on him. And so yeah, Bryce showed like a freshman quarterback, and that's one thing I feared. Now, Bryce looks like he's going to be the best quarterback we ever had. And hopefully, as he grows and gets better and gets more experience, and I said this on one of the chat responses that I put on this week. I said, the end result is their seasoned players beat our inexperienced players. And I said, but the good news is, as the season goes on, our players are going to get more seasoned.
That's true.
Yeah.
I just hope that that's not what needs to happen every single year, because that doesn't look good. If we can't, if it takes us 4, 5, 6 games to get right every year, then you're looking at a lot of 8-4 seasons. Because if you need that long to get good, well, then what are you doing in December, January practices? What are you doing in spring? What are you doing in fall? What's the strength and conditioning looking like? Why aren't we getting people? Like we got McCulley and Simpson and a couple others on the line, but where's that alpha wide receiver? They were out there. They were out there. And I just think, like, we paid all this money for BRYCE, but the best receiver we got was McCauley, who was a converted quarterback. And look, he's still doing better than everybody else. I'm not disputing that.
And
But
that one catch he had looked Randy Moss-esque.
it's true.
You know, that was a extremely talented receiver that was doing that. We just hope that, and I think I might start calling him Diva Donovan. I mean, Diva McCauley, is because it seems like he's a little bit too much like Randy Moss, who when the ball wasn't going Randy Moss's way, he put in no effort. He took the play off.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is if BRYCE wants him to be live because he's going to go to him as a third or a fourth read, he should be running that route. And so, yeah, and Donovan McCauley has the potential to be a top 10 or top 5 Big Ten receiver. But does he have the work ethic and the commitment? That's the question.
Ooh, yeah. I think it's still an open question.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, Keith,
okay. Yeah.
We'll see you Saturday. Any final thoughts for us?
The only thing is we keep going one game at a time, and let's go 1-0 against CMU. Oh, and I'm going to the game Saturday. I've got a ticket to the game.
Oh, nice. Well, enjoy it, and it's always fun to be there and be part of the experience. So I hope you enjoy.
All right. Thanks, John.
Later, Keith.
Go blue.
All right, folks. Coming up next on the call-in show, we've got Mar.
Mar, yes, sir. I gotta quit, guys. All right, hold on, brother. I gotta quit this Call of Duty. All right.
You're in the zone.
Yeah. So, what's up, man? Let me step out here real quick. I just want to say this. What's up?
Hey.
Sharon Moore better stop playing with house money. You understand? Because John, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
How long is the leash on these coaches now in a new era of college football? Are they gonna wait 3 years to get production, or are they gonna listen to these schools? Gonna listen to the donors like, hey, he ain't getting the job done. You need to get somebody in here because we're gonna invest all this money. We want results. We want results now.
Yeah, I think the time window is shorter. I think it depends on the buyout. So if you look at what's happening with Alabama and Kalen DeBoer, he's there for another year, no matter what. His buyout's almost $70 million. Sharon Moore's buyout's nowhere near that.
Okay, yeah, Sharon could get bought out today, because listen,
easily.
I'm paying attention to the algorithm. So Ellison bypassed Elon Musk. Elon Musk, though. Okay, you know why Ellison surpassed him? Because he made a deal with the Chinese about 3 months ago. That's 500 million. That 500 million gonna turn to 500 billion here in the next couple of years. Because him and Oracle and Microsoft teamed up. See, Microsoft has a thing called quantum chip. It's a molecule. And if you ever seen the movie, Age of Extinction Transformer, when they were in that building and they were using transformium to, make stuff like you go form a gun or then flip it back to a donut, then flip it back to a gun. Well, that's what Microsoft got their hands on, some transformium. It's a little molecule. It's bigger than cubic Earth. It's bigger than Earth cubic. Yeah, they got something powerful. So, Ellison and them teamed up with Ellison AI and then Microsoft quantum chip and then the Chinese 500 million that they invested in that. So that's gonna be 500 billion.
Yeah. So, Sharon Moore better quit playing with house money because all Jolene got to do is call Dolly Parton and she get to sing it, Jolene, Jolene, Jolene.
Yeah. You're not even the first caller to mention that Jolene could just make a call. I
I'm
will
trying to
say that
tell
Dave
you.
Portnoy said something about that where, hey, I'll give him 2 more games. But I do think that the leash is shorter. I think that it's interesting because I do think that if he goes 7-5 or higher, he gets another year. Even 6-6, he probably gets another year. If we start to
Nah, I
go
don't
into the
think
Brady
because
Hoke 5-7 or Rich Rod level, like lack of performance, then I think I do think there will be a conversation about, hey, who could we get? And
because
we would have that conversation on air, no problem.
I don't think nobody will hesitate to come to Michigan because it's in a new era now. Back in 3 seasons ago, hell no. But now that it's a recruiting bid and has the money, it got a lot of money. Who wouldn't want to come here and be able to recruit? You'd be able to recruit good, especially with the donation that Ellison's getting. And the reason why I say this is that's the only reason why Dusty May came to Michigan. He told him the only way I come here is you help me with the NIL to get guys in. So then Jolene started investing the money into the basketball. That's why you see the way the team is at this current moment. Okay. Dusty May got results with the team he had last year. Won the Big Ten tournament championship and made it to the Sweet 16 in his first season. That's the results they wanted to see in the basketball, even in his first season. Let's get us to the tournament. And he succeeded that. He made it to the Sweet 16. Nobody
Sure.
expected Michigan to make it out of the second round of the basketball tournament in Indiana. So if Sharon Moore can't match that energy, X. And it ain't nothing to do with his color. It's just business, baby. And if you understand business, business is about money. And if I'm the new CEO in the company and my quarters ain't looking good, they gonna cut me loose because my quarters ain't looking like the old CEO. So they gonna bring somebody in new to make
Fact.
sure them quarters looking good through the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter. Because you know the third and the fourth quarter, the major quarters, because them the end of the year quarters. And if you ain't doing nothing in that, whoa, sucks for you.
Well, I
No
wonder
Christmas
if
bonus.
because after Saturday, so starting with the game on Saturday, Sharon Moore is not going to be with the team. Biff Poggi's the head coach. And here's what I'll say. If things look improved, and then when Sharon comes back, they go back to 12 personnel inside zone every play, then I think the seat gets, and then they start losing, then the seat is going to get scorching hot. I think it's going to come down to, can Sharon allow Chip Lindsey to do what he was hired to do?
Yeah, quit handcuffing the man. You know what I'm saying? This ain't handcuff season. It ain't
You,
tax season. It ain't
you
time to
paid
be
him.
handcuffing.
They're paying him big bucks to to coach the offense and do what he does, and he's been very successful at it. He's produced top 10 offenses at UNC, and even last year he didn't have a quarterback and he was top 40 because he had a running back at least. But
Yeah, so yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like it's a new era of college football because now every school. So say, let me say this: the schools that experienced the playoff last year that never experienced the playoff when it was only the 14 playoffs, they got a taste of what that felt like. So now other schools that are involved in this NIL, which is a majority of them, they want to taste that playoff or even a national championship. So these schools not gonna play with not instant results because I heard somebody say this. This is not like the mini NFL. If you can't get to the Super Bowl or even to the playoff, you're not gonna coach. And then Mr.
Right.
Gander said, "What is my list of coaches?" Hey, listen, you'll never know. You'll never could know who will come out of the woodworks. I ain't got a list, but I'm
I
telling
got
you,
one. I got one.
I'm
Jed
telling you.
Fish. That's the
Yeah,
list.
that's it. Oh yeah, yeah. There you go. That's my main one. That'll be the main one. Because guess what? He beat Michigan with Harbaugh's philosophy last year.
That's it. That's who I would hire, and he said he wants to do it. So that's my
You
list.
play get Jed Fish, he got the money back of Jed Fish can recruit too.
And look, I know DeBoer, people are down on DeBoer right now. I think part of the reason DeBoer isn't working out at Alabama is because he had to follow the GOAT. And I don't know if
It's a big
the SEC
expectation.
fit is the best with him. I actually think he would be a better fit at Michigan than he is at Alabama. But I still have Jed as my top. And that's who I would go to first, second,
Hey,
and
listen,
third.
I think listen, it would be some surprise coaches that are at schools right now to see like, yo, because the only thing that was hurting Michigan is they couldn't recruit. The name showed itself, but the recruiting didn't match the name. So with that being said, now that the school can spend money and they got the best donor in the game,
Yeah.
coaches that come out of the woodwork ready to come, especially if the coach is a great recruiter.
Yeah. Maybe Nick
They
Hey,
would be
Nick
like, well,
Saban.
yeah, it would be, yeah. Listen, it would be like, bruh, that is the landing spot. Who wouldn't want that job? Is the question, Mr. Gander. Who wouldn't want that job? And today, in 2025, September 11th, who wouldn't
Who
want that
wouldn't?
job now?
I would say the only people that wouldn't want it are like Urban Meyer, and that's about it. Somebody who hates Michigan.
Nah, he said he'd take the job for 20 million. He meant that.
I don't know. I think he's enjoying being on
Club nights,
Fox,
club nights.
and
Hey, he's enjoying club nights with his mistress.
yeah, he can go to the club now. Nobody's gonna care because he's not running away from his team after losing in Cincinnati.
So I also have to bring up this other point.
Sure.
If Biff Poggi, so we
Yeah.
all know Biff Poggi is from the Harbaugh tree.
Mm-hmm.
If the game looked different in these next two games, like Harbaugh was, I'm not saying all like he gonna make it look like Harbaugh was there, but if it looks similar to a game that's called by Harbaugh, what would y'all say about Biff Poggi?
So here's my thing about Biff. I think he was part of a magical run. He was part of a group, Jim Harbaugh, Ben Herbert, and then of course Mike McDonald, Jesse Minter coming in from the Ravens in 21, 22, 23, right? So that was all part of a magical run. Biff was part of that, but we know what he did on his own. He failed at
the
Charlotte 49ers.
I gotta.
Okay.
John, I love you, brother, but I'm gonna have to cook you.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
So Biff took that job at Charlotte just to see what that, let me see what I can do down here. It wasn't gonna work. Did you watch any of the Charlotte games the last 3 seasons he was there? They didn't have the athlete. They were slow. They couldn't do nothing. I said, yeah. He only took
He
the job
recruited a
because
couple of good guys from Michigan. I will say, to his credit, he did get a couple of guys from Michigan over there.
They ain't paying out though.
No, true.
Hey, see, like when you step down to a lower level, you play to that. And I always believe that, man. Like when you play in little teams, you play to their It's like you playing into their game plan. And I always said that, like you expect the team to just blow this team out, and then you be like, why they struggling? Because that little team doing something to make you play their game. And so with Charlotte, like I said, he didn't have the athlete. He had a couple guys, but in that league, um, it was just as bad. It was just bad. I mean, I watch this game. I watch Biff. I mean, I support everybody that
Sure.
been at Michigan, coached at
I'm glad
Michigan.
he's back.
I love Greg Madison, but you know what he did.
Benedict
You gotta
Arnold,
hold.
yeah.
Yeah, you have to. You gotta come. At least buy everybody in the stadium something to eat, and then at a game we might accept you back, Greg Madison. But but no, I'm just saying. I think Biff, with Michigan's athletic ability, though, would be able to dial some things up that we were accustomed to seeing when Harbaugh was here. Like I said, no shade to Sharon, no shade to Sharon. He playing scared. I understand you want to save Bryce because you made that promise to his mom and dad. But hey, mom and dad, we love you over here as fans, but let the boy do his thing.
They
Let
also
him do his
promised
thing. He gonna get to
that
the
Jaden
league.
Davis wouldn't play last year. So I don't really love this whole, all right, we said something to mom and dad, and now when we have no quarterbacks, we're still not going to play Jaden Davis because we said something, because we said at the beginning of the season that we wouldn't do that. Well, we needed a quarterback at the end of the year. We needed somebody. We needed an answer. We didn't have it. Luckily, Davis Warren did enough. He did enough
Hey,
to
you
just
ever
hobble us
believe?
through. But
Hey, John, you ever believe that this? Like when I was growing up, kids used to tell me stories like, man, I'm like, how you learn how to swim? Right? Like my dad just threw me in the water and told me sink or swim, and I swam because I wasn't gonna die. So I put that philosophy same in football.
yeah,
Throw them out there and let them sink or swim. I
yep,
think that's come on, man. Like that comedy made that just listen. That comedy's made. You gonna think the Ellison pick the phone up? Yeah, he ain't the guy. Uh-uh. He ain't the guy. Like in the movie Friday, when Craig was fighting Debo and Craig mama was like, he ain't fighting fair. Yeah, he ain't fighting fair. he he Jerome out here handcuffing this boy. That boy don't want to, cause you seen it. You remember when he had that wide open lane and he
yep.
threw it? I said, bro, you could have had like 30 yards. But they already put it in his head. Do not run. We can't afford to lose you. Then he was playing like he didn't trust the young man. If you trust him, that gives him confidence to go out and trust his team. But if you hold him back and scaling back and saying, hey, I'm going to just let him do the bare minimum, well, you're going to get the bare minimum result on the field.
So maybe the theme for the rest of the season is let Bryce cook. Let Bryce cook.
Yeah, just let him cook. Let him cook. Like Denard Robinson started that first. Ohio State stole it. See? They always talking about us stealing. Ezekiel Elliott stole Denard Robinson mannerism. Denard was doing that first. Come on, bro. Can we get that investigated?
Yeah, let's get the PIs on
Hey, John.
that.
So
Yeah.
I was listening to Tim Brando, and they asked him about the CBS Detroit story that dropped about the player lying and doing all this extra stuff. And they asked him, Brando. He said, "Well, and he was being for real. He's speaking from his heart. I have no problem with it." He said, "Well, I I don't think nothing gonna come of it right now, because I don't think Michigan is going to go in Oklahoma and win that game." And he wasn't wrong to say that. And then he said, "But if Michigan starts to build momentum, I think that story comes to and start building more and more and more momentum." And I said, "Bruh, how would he know that?" Oh, he in the media, so he know how it works. Just like when Michigan was going on that run at the Rose Bowl, they tried to say somebody was doing quarter ball with video, but they said it wasn't Michigan. So who was it? Who was it? Why they not reporting that? But they sure do want to smear us. They didn't smear Kurt Barton. It wasn't all over ESPN.
Oh, we had our fun with Kirk Barton. That's
Oh, John, you know who paid for Joey Vasquez family?
Well, I there was a rumor about that, but it turned out that it may be a different Ohio State felon. But we're gonna stay away from. We don't want to get into defamation. We don't want to catch it. We don't want to catch a case over here.
Hey, listen. Nah, we don't want to catch her. Never mind. See what happened yesterday. That's crazy what happened
Yeah.
yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I listened to that man like I listened to y'all live. I listened to him for about the last year and a half live, and I loved everything he had to say. What he brought, perspective. He helped college students on campuses have voice because these are things they were thinking along by themselves in the dorm. He brought their freedom of speech to light, where he sat and had a conversation with them to give each other a better perspective on how one is thinking and how the others are thinking, so we can come and meet in the middle as an equal. And I like that. But you see all the hate that comes from it too, and that's sad. That's happening. Nobody should have to lose their life because they speak a different opinion. That's why you sit down and
That
have
I'm
this,
with you. I'm with you there.
and that's why we come up here and sit down on these shows and come
Yeah.
to a perspective, and
Yeah.
we do it in good faith. And like I said,
And we
man, hug your
welcome
loved ones.
everybody,
And
even the
John,
Buckeyes.
yeah,
As
man.
long as they're
I,
respectful, Buckeyes can come in. Bama
listen,
fans, whoever.
yeah, this is what I got to say to people. I don't, I don't hate anyone. I don't care if you're a Buckeye, a Michigan State Spartan, a Viking fan, a Packer fan. I don't hate none of y'all. If my team playing with you, I'm going to root for my team. If you beat us, good game. I don't hate none of y'all. But what I'm telling y'all up here on this panel, hug your loved ones, hug them tight, pray, um, do right, don't listen to the lies, read between the lines, hear the whispers between the crack of the walls, because everything is a facade if you pay attention. Um, And then, like I said, this love, man. This is a Michigan family. I love it. I love coming up here on the Voice of College Football. It's dope. Um, and
Appreciate you.
yeah, just go blue, man. I'll be
Go
at the
blue.
game Saturday.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I went to the
Let us
first game.
know
That
how
was
it is.
dope. I went to the first game. That was dope. And then I'm going to this game on Saturday, noon game. I like noon games. I like them.
I like them
So
too, because that means post game is at 3:30. And the last two post games went to like 3-4 a.m. So we get to have a more reasonable time, and we're excited to have a nice long one, hopefully for everybody on Saturday. So enjoy the game, Mar, and thanks for coming by as always.
like I said, man, love you tuck your loved ones in, love them. You got babies, let them know. What you see in the news is just hate. You don't gotta hate. It's just love, 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 love. Love wins in the end. That's just what it is. That's what the good man. That's what the Son, Father, and Holy Spirit said. He said, "Hey, love, love wins in the end." Corinthians 13. That's real love. What you see in this world, that's not love. That's the adversary. Like I said, I love y'all. Go blue. You know what I'm saying? Hold on.
There
Let
you
me
go.
bite the chain. Mm, go blue.
Go blue. I'll let you get back to Call of Duty,
All right. Thank you.
and have a good night.
All right. Yeah. Bye.
Later. Okay, that was Marmar, friend of the program. And that does it. 3 hours here today on a show that, folks, I wasn't sure how this was going to go because, I just was like, hey, TJ, I'm just going to jump on and see what happens. Y'all who were here, those who stay will be champions. Thank you. Everybody who donated, we went 3 hours because of your contributions. You made this show happen. Hopefully, some more folks catch it on the replay. Obviously, we'll have the radio version as well. And I think more than anything else, you know what? It was nice to have 3 hours of talking football after world events, everything going on in our society over the last few days. Sometimes you just need to talk some just get away from it a little bit, talk some football. And I hope that we could provide that for you. If you missed some of the show, go back and listen to some of these. The callers tonight were on it. And I like this because with Postgame, I have no choice but to go 3 5-minute calls. I have no choice because the super chats, thanks to your generosity, are there, and then we got rapid fire calls. On this show, get to have longer conversations, and so I really enjoyed it actually, and I'm really glad everybody was here. We do have a new member. Gigi Dope is a new member of Michigan at the Voice of College Football. And let's see what tier here. Gigi Dope is a Leaders and Best member. And we also just had a day ago, I'll also shout out Charles Elliott and PMB both renewed their Connor Stallions Espionage membership. Thank you to all of you. Gigi Dope, don't forget to hit refresh and hit those emojis. That's right. You get to enjoy some really cool emojis designed by yours truly. So enjoy that. Some of them are good. Some of them I need to work on them a bit. But that's how we do it here at Michigan at the Voice of College Football. Folks, the next show will be Saturday, Michigan post-game live with TJ and myself. We're going to be taking your calls and super chats and contributions. And until then, thank you all so much for rocking with me here today for the 3-hour call-in show. Coming up, I'm going to encourage everybody to check out a quick message from Mark Rogers, Voice of College Football, about Voice of College Football bets. Thank you to the Win Agency. Check them out. And everybody here in chat. Until next time, as always, John D'Adamo saying go blue, and we will see you soon.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select a betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.